Hello, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed last night's fights as much as I did. I really enjoyed UFC 253. Really made me just took me back to them old school days of just being a fan. But which I'm still just a fan. But you know what I'm saying. Just I was really in the moment, really enjoying it, really having a lot of fun. Let's get Harrison on here.
Hey, what up?
It
What up?
is
What up?
it is beefy time, everybody. I got the beefy boy on the line, and
How we doing? How we doing today?
doing great, man. Especially for all those beers I pounded last night.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm feeling not the greatest. I went to IPAs instead of claws last night, and I should go catch up.
No, I've really learned that IPAs have
Oh, I
one
should
of
wear my
the. What's up, bro?
your Fight Island shirt. So nice.
You want to go
I
throw
just
yours
synced it.
on? I can keep.
Nah,
No,
nah, nah.
it's all good, brother. We got it. We got four more Fight Island fights, I believe, coming up. So plenty of opportunities to rock that motherfucker. But
Oh yeah, next weekend for sure.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, so we're back on Fight Island as Harrison just alluded to. And I'm really
253, sick card,
I'm really
sick card.
excited. Yeah. Also, everybody, before we get started too deep in episode 17, we are now available on audio platforms.
Yes,
So up until
sir.
this point, it was just Instagram or YouTube, but now we have Podbean. I believe they're going to get us through Podbean, get us onto like Apple Podcast and Spotify, and
Anchor.
really anywhere that you would want to listen to an audio podcast. So I'm super excited about that. I know we had been getting some requests for people, and I don't know. I was honestly sleeping on the audio podcast market. Like I know I intake a lot of my podcasts through YouTube, but that doesn't mean that's how everybody else goes about it. So yeah, I just want to try to make sure it's as easy and accessible to listen to as possible. So if you're listening to us right now on an audio service, thank you so much, and welcome to the Beefy Boys Breakdown.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
A reason I like audio podcasts so much, man. You can take the people with you. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, or like the YouTube app, we all know you can't close it, and then like so if you need to like
Still
reply to a
watch or
text
listen.
or fucking you know what I'm saying, check your bank account or whatever, it has to stop the podcast. Where on the audio platforms, you can keep it running in the background, which is definitely really dope and convenient for the listener for sure, for sure. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Go, follow us on all the audio platforms and subscribe to the YouTube page, and appreciate everybody's support. And yeah, just really excited about expanding opportunities for sure, for sure. But yeah, this is Beefy Boys Breakdown episode 17. We're going to be going over the UFC 253 banging ass card we got last night. And
Last two fights were so good, man. I mean,
yeah,
those last two were pretty much worth all of it, I would say.
yeah, and I feel like the past couple we've done have kind of been the opposite. Like a bunch of no-name
Absolutely.
sleepers in the prelims put on phenomenal fights and thoroughly entertaining cards. But I feel like potentially some of the main events and co-mains lately have been, some might say, lackluster, or at least it delivered. I'll say this: I can uplift this card without putting down the other ones. Like it
Oh,
delivered.
yeah.
It maybe not delivered in the way people may have thought it was going to, and we'll get into that. But delivered nonetheless. Like I said, I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, I wasn't like, distracted by my phone or like I was like locked in. I mean, I was having a lot of fun watching the fights. But yeah, brother, let's dive into these prelims.
Yeah.
And did you start all the way at like Ibrahimov and Danilo Marquez?
Oh, yeah, you already know. We've got 205, Kadis Ibrahimov on a three-fight skid, 180 minus 185 favorite, which is kind of surprising. Danilo Marquez hasn't fought in 2 years. He's like 38 years old. He was in a porn like 2 years ago. And he's plus 165 in this fight.
Whole different type of beefy boy.
Oh, God, dude. You know what's sad about this fight?
What's that?
Neither guy deserved that victory. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it wasn't like either guy won the fight. It was like Ibrahimov lost this fight.
yeah. I remember last night after the fights, you had texted me. You're like, did Ibrahimov really look as bad, like as bad as everyone's saying? Because
Yeah, I was
Harrison
like
was working,
that
he watches the
bad.
fights delayed, and I was like, dude, it was so awful, like hot garbage, dumpster fire, awful. Yeah, and you're right. It was one of those things where, and then you're like, well, was the other guy just like a badass, or did he be more like? I was like, not really, bro. This
Yeah,
guy
like
like
not at all. Like
didn't
not at
look
all.
super impressive. It was kind of a shit show. So I feel like the past like 5 cards have all started off with a banger on the prelims, and like I said, this was like it was like a true crescendo as opposed to like starting off with bangers
It
and
really
ending
was
with
though.
anticlimactic,
It like
main event.
really was crescendo style. Because even
Yeah.
like the Cara France Royval fight was insane, and that was third to last.
Yeah, no, that was badass. That one fight of the night too. But yeah, we'll
I
get to
actually
that.
didn't
But
give it fight of the night, but we'll get to
yeah,
it.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. A lot of fun stuff to get to, man. I said I'm just juiced, man. Like I'm not saying I'm not juiced for all of them, because they all deliver entertainment and they all give us plenty to talk about. And I love doing Beefy Boys, but like, man, this one like had me like
The
waking
part
up
you were
like
right
ready
there
to
in
go.
last.
Sorry about
Oh
that.
no, you're
TV
good.
just decided to turn on.
Oh shit, your house is
Uh,
definitely haunted, bro. Like a
yeah,
hundred
dude, I'm
percent, a
saying
hundred
like
percent.
weird shit happens here.
100%. See, I'm fortunate enough. I live in my family's house, and so like my family's been here dating back to like the '60s. I mean, that's not forever, but that's like 3 generations, 4 generations have been through this motherfucker, and so I have the firm confidence of knowing that if it is haunted, they
They're
cool.
on your
Yeah,
side.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
family, it's
yeah.
grandma or somebody, but yeah, I don't know. That shit, because that's like the second or third time that's happened since
Oh,
the
dude, I'm
podcast.
telling you. I'm telling
Oh
you. My
shit.
TV literally will just come on sometimes. I don't know. And it's my remote is on my bed. Like, I don't know what it is.
Bro, I
I
gotta
have no
tell you,
idea.
I was drinking these little, what do they call these bullets? I think the
Silver bullets.
silver
Silver bullets,
bullets.
baby. We're
And I,
killing werewolves with those hoes.
something just like made me feel like I was at a live sporting event. Like something about this bitch, like just the shape of it
Just
in
sitting
my
in the
hand.
stands.
I was like, fuck yeah, dog, I'm here.
Well, and you have a twist back cap for a beer. That's
Very
how you
clutch.
know.
Very clutch
Yeah.
because I weaned it out on my last beer of the night. So I have like one extra one.
I
Cheers,
saved
brother.
one. I made a point.
Yeah, you got to save one. I wasn't gonna make that mistake again, but yeah. Let me get my head right, and then we'll dive in. Feel free to just dive into Ibrahimov.
Yeah.
I don't got too much to say. At least not
No,
too much
yeah, I mean,
positive.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, nothing positive, nothing positive. More so, it's the fact that like he threw these crazy looping hooks only, could throw nothing down the middle,
Yes,
terrible kicks. Marquez was getting takedowns simply because Ibrahimov couldn't put his hips back. I don't. It was the worst takedown defense I've ever seen in my life. He'd give his back up every single time, which just looks bad. Like he really was never in danger because he got the tripod position every time. But it looks bad to have a guy on your back with his legs hooked and his arms around your neck. So it's
yes.
like even perceptually, Marquez was going to win that fight. Ibrahimov just looked like shit, dude. He had like no game plan. I thought he threw out his right shoulder one time trying to throw a hook.
Yeah, this was definitely I thought like was like a position battle type of fight. Like I don't like. I mean, neither guy
Yeah.
took a ton of damage. Honestly, I don't like.
No, for
Yeah.
205, they took no damage.
Yeah, it was a weird fight. It didn't seem like 205ers. Like they looked big
No.
enough, but just the style of fight was not very 205. That was a good point. I'm glad you brought that up for sure. Yeah, in round two, is it Marque or Marquez? Marquez?
Marquez, yeah.
Marquez just had his back and was like trying some kind of half-ass sub attempts, but nothing really got in deep. But he was able to like do enough to where the ref wouldn't stand him up. And then
How'd you score the first? Because it seems like the first might have been the only round that was up for debate. I could be wrong.
so I'll be real. I missed part of the first round because goddamn. So I always look it up like what time the fights start on like Google or UFC.com and all that, and like on the pay-per-view events, it does the early prelims, then it does the prelims, and then the main. But the early prelims traditionally are only on UFC Fight Pass. It's like an
Right,
additional
correct.
subscription. So I was just honestly factoring in like, oh, well, I don't get to watch those because I already have a 9,000 subscriptions. I'll be real. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking. And there was only 2 on the car in the early prelims. I was like, I'm not buying Fight Pass to watch 2 extra fights. But then I turn on ESPN just to like literally like kill time. And the fights were on. And I was
Yeah.
like, what these goddamn cocksuckers? And then they like lumped the early prelims in with the normal prelims. So like, why even differentiate between, I don't know. I'll
That's
be
a
real.
good
The
point. That's a
scheduling
good
fucked
point.
me up. Like, because like I said, I wasn't planning on watching the first 2 fights because I thought they were on Fight Pass. And then I
Yeah.
turned on ESPN literally just like, I was just going to like kill the time. And I was like, oh, goddamn, it's the second round. So I turned it on literally at the start of the second. I busted out my notepad and cracked the beer. I was like, goddamn. But So yeah, I actually missed the first round, but I looked up the numbers, and by all accounts, it actually looked like that was Ibragimov's best round. He led by striking, but it was like 16-3. Like nobody really was throwing. So like he
Right.
led by a dramatic margin, but then I think Marquez proceeded to like win the grappling exchanges and things of that nature. So I think a lot of judges still gave it to Marquez, but by the numbers, it appeared that it was Ibragimov's best round and that he maybe connected a few times, but just
It
not
was
enough output.
no, definitely his best round. From my notes on it, I thought that he could have won the round for sure, but then you let Marquez get his back and literally ride him
Exactly.
in rear naked choke position for 90 seconds to end the round. And it was like, dude,
Yeah.
you have this in the bag, but you kind of like now I don't know. And he grabbed the fence 4 times in the first round.
Yes. Felder and them were getting pissed off.
Dude, yeah, and the ref Herzog kept walking
like,
and slapping his hand off the cage. I was like, hey, Herzog, just take a point,
Yeah.
huh? Don't touch it.
He was like, this is like the 8th warning. Yeah. So that was
I was
kind
like,
of
cool. We take points for 2 eye pokes, but we grab the fence 4 times and get warnings. Like, it's ridiculous.
I'll be real. The refs pissed me off last night on multiple occasions. This skinny little fuck with the chin hair that
Sataki.
Wouldn't let anybody work at all ever, for any amount of time. That guy
Dude, what
can
was up
fuck
with our
all the
refs?
way off. It was
Our
like
refs
the
last
B
night were
squad.
weird.
It was
Yeah,
like
it was
the
Herzog's.
Yeah.
It was Herzog, Sataki, and Bolshaki. And it was like Sataki and Bolshaki. And it's like,
And
are you serious? Yeah, right. Like, toss them in. Just toss them in.
Fucking goddamn. Yeah, that was the B squad for sure, for sure.
Marquez does go on.
Big card. Yeah, that seems really strange.
Yeah, I couldn't believe for the middleweight. I couldn't believe for the middleweight and the light heavyweight belt on the same card, like best 2 weight classes, like we talk about all the time. How are you going to have those guys be your refs?
If you think about it, though, a lot of the judges are in hot water right now between Old Girl and then Herb Dean's last outing wasn't, people weren't too happy with that either. Maybe they're just trying new shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're talking about when you say Old Girl, Sarah Alpar getting her face destroyed, right? Yeah, that's Chris Tognoni, the ref.
And I'm sure our listeners have realized this by now, but I'm goddamn awful with names. Like, I went to the same college for 3 years and learned like 5 people's names, and that's including the football team. Like everybody was dude, bro, and then I stick out like a sore thumb with my dreads and fucking eyes and shit. So everybody knows my fucking name, and it makes me seem like the biggest fucking douchebag. And it's not even that like, oh, I don't think you're worthy. Like, no, dog, I'm bad with names, but that definitely carries over to UFC fighters as well. So when I say old girl, old boy. Thank God Harrison's known me long enough to know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about when I say old girl and old boy. So thank you for that translation, brother. But,
yeah, no problem.
But yeah, man, I thought Ibragimov's cardio started to fade in the second round. Looked like dog shit. And then he kept grabbing the cage. And then, man, halfway through round 3, I pretty much already knew it was over, even though it wasn't over. But yeah, Marquez, it's like I don't want to praise him really either because he kept getting these phenomenal positions, taking the back, getting the takedown, and just doing jack shit with it, like doing absolutely nothing.
He was being gifted positions in which you can win fights, and he just couldn't do anything in the position. It was like, hey, dude, this is like that's like emergency drilling, right? Like when you're training, I assume they start someone on your back like that as like an emergency drill. Like, hey, this is worst case scenario.
Yeah, they just seemed like they were kind of going through the motions, like taking it 80%, like running a pat and go in football. You know what I'm saying?
Like running their routes to open the game. Like, we're just gonna hit some throws. I don't need to run this 100%.
Yeah, no, exactly. But so yeah, Marquez did win as the plus 155 underdog, so not a huge dog, and I imagine that fight didn't get a ton of action because who the fuck cares about it? But yeah, Ibragimov's So was it a unanimous decision? Was it 30-27 or?
So it was 29-28 times 2 and then 130-27.
Really? Somebody gave Ibragimov the first, I imagine. I guess, right?
Two of them gave him the first. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you could give him the first.
It was one of those ones where it's like,
like who gives a shit? Yeah,
like it was so bad either way that it was like,
Yeah, but so yeah, he ends up winning the unanimous decision. Marquez, like I said, can't say I'm looking for his next fight. I think almost any other 205er besides Ibragimov starches him. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm
100%.
definitely not on the edge of my seat waiting for Danilo Marquez's next fight. But, I mean, a win's a win. Congratulations. Ibragimov's 0-4 now. So
he's done. He had a 4-fight contract.
Yeah,
he had a 4-fight contract.
You know,
I
maybe
mean,
maybe you can go to a smaller promotion and put in some
mhm.
work and get some reps against. Like I'm not. I never root for like just like a straight up flame out. I hope this is the start of like a beautiful comeback story, and then like 8 years from now, he's like the veteran fighter that salvaged his career or something. But yeah, as
like
of
a
now,
Glover Teixeira style. I mean, he is only 26. He's a Russian. He could go fight somewhere in Europe, somewhere in Russia, somewhere in China, kind of build those skills, try and come back maybe when he's 30, 31, something
yeah,
like
that's what
that.
I'm saying. We've seen it happen before. It's not like that out of like the question. But I
Mm.
don't see that many dope things to build upon, unfortunately. So who
Yeah,
knows?
not not a lot of like structure to build up on.
That being said, we spent entirely too much time talking about that fight. Let's keep
Well, it
it
was just so
clean.
bad,
It was
The
so
next one
bad.
was,
Like it deserved its lashings for sure, for
and
sure.
we had to talk about the refs being terrible. But the next one was Juan Espino, 39 years old, UFC vet, longtime MMA vet, versus Jeff Hughes. Jeff Hughes is actually Stipe's main training partner as far as stand up. So you'd think that like he
They,
could take
they,
a beating at
he was
least.
just like leaning on that too much, dog. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel like when that's like the best thing anybody can say about you is like who you practice with. It's like, well, guess what? I used to practice with George Kittle.
yeah, me too. Good
Yeah,
point.
we practiced
Good
with
point.
George
In
Kittle.
fact, offense player of the game, not George.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Harrison was a better player in a football game than George Kittle that day. So like we say that kind of tongue in cheek to just prove the point that like who the fuck cares who you train with, dog? Like you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like that has nothing to do really with anything. I mean, I guess it's better than not training with Stipe. Maybe it's not though. Like maybe I don't know. Like maybe he should have spent more time, not just getting beat up and working on some offense. I don't know, but
Dude, speaking of working with people, I heard a story about Shimaev. I just had to sneak this in because we're on that. We're on the hype train.
yeah, we're on
We're on
the
the Rats hype train.
yeah the rat, the wolf, whatever.
Apparently last year he dropped Gustafson in a sparring match, like just boxing.
Oh, I've heard that. I heard that too. Yeah.
That is
Yeah, the
crazy.
weight difference for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
he's
I'm
like
not like
50
shocked,
pounds less. And Gustafson, though, has beaten national champion boxers in Sweden.
bro. What if Shimaev retired Gustafson behind closed doors? 'Cause you remember how shitty Gustafson and we both remember we
Yeah,
both
that's
said
right.
like it looks like his tail like he doesn't look like the dogs in him no more. Like remember we both
Yeah.
said like this is looks more mental than physical to us. Like when we were breaking down that fight, we both said like Gustafson just wasn't there.
Dude,
What if
good point.
Shimaev fucking broke Gustafson?
Broke him in training.
Like just mentally just finished him.
Oh, that
He's like, I
makes my
got dropped by a
brain,
170 or I'm toast.
dude, that makes my brain spin. Holy shit. That might be the case, to be very honest.
I
Like, you
mean, it's
see how
kind of
hungry,
tinfoil hat, but I mean, it's not inconceivable.
no, you see how hungry Hamzat is, too. Like,
And and
a
it,
young dog will steal the life from the old vet.
and Gustafson looked like shit. He looked like in Space Jam when they suck your talent out of you,
Yeah.
like
You just like try to dribble and you're like, what the fuck? I can't do this
Shimaev just
anymore.
like neutered him. But maybe
Sorry. I
allegedly.
gotta,
Yeah,
sorry,
we had to get some
I gotta get back
strokes
to
in.
Espino.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah, had to get him. I gotta get him every week now
we have
until he
a
loses.
quota.
God damn. We'll get back to him too when we talk about 185 belt, like we're gonna bring him back
Yeah,
up.
we're gonna
But
bring it back up. But yeah, we'll get back to this heavyweight bout. Jeff Hughes definitely. I'll give him second team all Beefy. I don't know. We've seen
yeah.
Beefier, but didn't look like he was in the best shape. That's why I'm gonna say kept training with Stipe. Like dog, you should have been training with that treadmill, homie.
Yeah, get the road work in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Definitely doughy. Definitely didn't feel. He definitely looked like a plus 250 guy. Yeah. So I mean, Juan Espino was minus 300. Jeff Hughes was plus 250. And I mean, it was over pretty quickly. Espino got the first round sub, and it was cool because like whenever it happened live in my notes, I was like arm triangle question mark. Like it was kind of a weird looking like
Oh
arm
no, fucking scarf hold, dude.
scarf hold, exactly. Yeah, and then
Wrote that in my notes. That's so whack to tap to, bro. That's a pressure choke. That's literally just the pressure on your head. There's no blood. There's no oxygen. That's just a pressure choke.
I legit think like old boys like beefiness like played in. Like you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like there was a lot being like condensed into a
true,
little amount of space, like
true.
compacted. Like I feel like you're right. Like a 145er doesn't tap to that because it's not the same
The level of
Like,
crank isn't there, right?
yeah, and just the way the body moves at that size, like
Hmm.
even just my arm like coming across my body it like does more than if I was really skinny or like Nina's arm or something. Like it just I mean maybe I'm being definitely bro science here, but just
No,
something
I'd
to
just say
think
like you have
about.
more resistance. You know what I'm saying? It's like bodybuilders sometimes can't wipe their own ass. Just shocking news right here because their muscles are literally too big and they can't reach backwards.
Yeah, shout out Paulo Costa, but
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I just wanted to throw that out there. But you're right. It was a very unconventional choke. Like that's why I wasn't sure. And then he said it was a scarf hold. So yeah, you know more about that than me because with your wrestling background.
I mean, essentially, it's just a headlock. Like for anyone that's been like through junior high wrestling, like if you hit someone in the headlock and then you just could lock both your hands up and squeeze their head in with an arm in, that's essentially all it is. So it's
So
just
that's
like
not even a blood choke.
no, not oxygen, not
Oh
blood. It's literally
wow.
just pressure.
So he literally just like felt
He,
uncozy.
his head felt bad, and he was
Yeah.
like, "I'm done."
It didn't look like he was gonna win the fight anyway. But
I
anyway,
mean, my notes on it are Jeff Hughes just tapped to a scarf hold, dot dot dot,
yeah.
whack in all caps.
Yeah, so you think that's more a knock? Yeah, Jeff Hughes just didn't look ready to go. He didn't like I don't know,
He
but
just did not look ready for
but
that fight.
so Espino had been battling a lot of injuries, right? That's why he had taken so
Yes,
many years off. So shout out to him. I mean, honestly, that was kind of cool on Dana to throw him kind of a like a tune-up game, like how OU had this tiny little college, Missouri Southern or whatever the fuck, to
right, yeah.
open up the
It, it,
season. Like
it's
Dana
like a
White kind of
tune-up.
threw him one of those, which is cool. After 2 years off, he won he won the Ultimate Fighter, right, or back in the
Yep,
day, or
yep. Back in the
some
day, yep.
shit. And then so yeah, good to see Juan Espino kind of get back in the win column. You know what I mean? Like he didn't look dominant or scary, but he did what he had to do. Jeff Hughes can probably, get the fuck out of the UFC. That just shows how little heavyweights there are, right? If he can,
Heavyweights don't have
it,
any blood, man. It's
the
terrible.
fact that he's even around, like even on an easy fight, like he just looked whack. And maybe I'm selling him short. Maybe there's shit that he's good at, but he just looked like just super out of shape and just didn't really put up any resistance. And it's not
You
like
know,
Espino's a world beater, so I don't really
you
know
know,
what to take about that.
you know who looked insanely in shape last night?
Who's that?
The next guy, William Knight. At 205, he was fighting Alexa Kamer, that black dude that was just like he was 5'10". I
Yeah,
was thinking about it. If me or you were to weigh 205, that's what we would have to look like. He
that's
was
yeah. No,
so
you're right.
yoked, it was
Yeah, no,
scary.
that he looked like a linebacker. He looked like he weighed 240. I mean, he literally looked like
Legit.
a college linebacker. Like he was like his arms, like it honestly like didn't it looked like a movie. Like in movies they get like buff guys to play fighters, but like a lot of fighters really aren't like buff in real life. Like
Yeah,
and it kind of looks corny. Like it's kind of like it just didn't like visually look right. It's like watching Zion play basketball where he's just so thick,
right.
it just looks kind of
Right. You're
out
like,
of
how does
place.
he Yeah, you're like, he moves through the air like that?
Yeah,
How?
yeah. No, you're right. William Knight was a thickie for sure. Definitely
The
beefy.
thickest dude. My first notes are William Knight's a muscle hamster.
Yeah, he is, and still moved pretty goddamn well though. Like
Pretty
it didn't
fluid.
seem to hinder him. Like a lot of times, it's noticeable the flexibility, the motion, the cardio. That it's like, damn, these muscles are actually a detriment. But it didn't look like that was the case for him. He wore it well, as they say.
This fight actually, I think, is going to be a hidden gem moving forward. Is at 205. It's Alexa Kamur and William Knight, right? William Knight's 8-1. Kamur is 6-0 coming into this fight. That was their records, right? William Knight's only lost to this guy in Chukwi, who is also signed to UFC and is 5-0. And Chukwi's all of his fights have ended before 4 minutes in the first round by knockout.
Oh
He's
wow,
like
so
this
he's an upcoming savage.
vicious. Oh, dude, yeah.
Nice.
Him
We'll
and
keep an eye
Prohaska
out
are going
for
to
him.
be
What's
like
his name again?
it's I can't remember his first name, but in Chukwi. It's
Chukwu.
Nchukwi.
Cool, cool. I'll try to remember that again. I
He's
probably won't.
he is a beast. He is a beast. I'll make sure to make a note about him in my picks for sure. I thought it was funny though in the first round, Anik and Felder are going back and forth, and then Felder says something about Bolshaki, and he goes, "Yeah, that ref, he doesn't even know his name." To make our point about like being a B team ref, like
Yeah.
when Paul Felder doesn't even know who the fuck he is, why is he calling these fights?
No, Felder did not like him. I didn't either. Like I really did. Because this is the guy that kept wanting to stand him up, right? That's the guy I was talking about.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I should have made better notes of that, but I try not to. I was trying to like not focus on it. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever done that? Like
Right.
you're like please don't let this this is a great fight. Like don't let that not let you enjoy
Well,
it.
that's
But
kind of like in other sports too, though. You never want to see the refs overtake the game. It's like Joey Crawford in basketball. People hated him when he was the head official in a game because he would make it about his calls and not about the guys playing the fucking
yeah,
game. You know?
yeah, that's never it. Like even being in like a former athlete myself, like I would rather just get just just slaughtered and just let us play than just like a game with a million penalties. Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
yeah, don't save me with penalties and don't cost me a game with penalties. Either
Yeah.
way, I don't want it either way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But man, yeah, both these guys look good. William Knight was a plus 140. Alexa Kamur was a minus 160. Um, so and I
uh,
believe you favored Kamur in this one. Is that
I
correct?
did. My actual bet on this fight, which I would have missed on horribly, was that it would not go to a decision.
Oh, yeah, but
Which,
I see why you would say that though, with like muscle hamstring, and then a guy like Kamur who's very athletic too. Like it seemed like it was gonna
well, I
be.
want to say that these guys together have two fights that have not gone the distance out of the 15 they had coming in.
Oh,
So it was like just percentages wise, I had an 88% chance that they would continue that sort of style.
wow.
But they kind of ran into each other, and stylistically, they kind of didn't match up the best way, right, for that to happen. Knight was super strong, right,
Yeah,
and he
so
he
strong.
finally started getting to like trip positions and clinch positions where he realized like, oh, I'm just very much stronger,
So
and so he
much.
started to abuse it in the second. How would you score the first
The
before we get to
first,
the second?
you know what? I actually give the first to Kimura, and I'm
Me
pronouncing
too.
it Kimura. I think they might say
It
Kamura
is
or what
Kamur.
Kimura. Okay,
No, it's
whatever.
it's Kamur.
Yeah, yeah, Kimura. And then yeah, I even wrote down the refs like kept like weirdly separating them when they were against the cage. So
Yeah.
at the start of the fight, like their fight was in the clinch, but it was a pretty goddamn active clinch. Like they made Usman and Masvidal like if this ref separated them over that, then the Usman Masvidal fight never even would have been able to like take place. You
I
know
would have
what
been
I'm
okay.
saying?
I would have been okay with that, to be
No,
honest.
no,
Like,
I know, but
like
like they
that's what
too far
sucks,
this
right?
way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, like because they were, I don't, in my opinion, they were super active. I know Felder was
yeah.
like, "Whoa, why is he splitting him up?" Like they were working. Like, and I'm not saying like throw one half-ass punch and you're both gassed. Like, not, no, they were like it was the first round. Neither guy was gassed. Like they were like maneuver. They were doing everything you like literally would want them to do. Like there was not
Yeah.
one moment of like stalemate. Like bizarre. One of the weirdest like separations. And I think he did that in the next fight. He ref too. He's just a weird ass dude. I don't know.
Let's see. It was both. Yeah, yeah. That was the Riddell Silva fight, which was also weird,
Exactly. Yeah,
and
he
we'll
kept
and
doing
we'll
that
get
shit.
to it.
But yeah, I gave
Um,
round one to Kamar mainly just because like his clinch control. I mean, I don't think either
yeah, he
guy,
actually had really good technique.
yeah, he did good in the first round. He really did. I think in the second round is exactly what you were alluding to earlier. Is when at the moment in the second round when Knight realized how much stronger he was and began to
Yes.
like play to that, which is so dope. So many fighters don't like A, make in-fight adjustments, and B, play to their strengths.
Yeah.
And he did
Clearly,
both
his
of those
strength
things.
is
Is his strength? Yeah,
yeah, like physical power is clearly his strength. Like that is. He missed weight by 4 pounds. We didn't even talk about that. He's
Knight did.
205 and he missed weight by 4 pounds. Like that's not. I'm not saying like 4 pounds. Like that's a crazy number to miss by or anything like that at that weight. I'm just saying the cut to 205 when you're 5'10 and you still miss. Like how yoked are you, dog?
He's
Take a
so
little
young.
off.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get out of the weight room for sure. But
Like his biceps were fucking my face.
there's some
They were
guys
as
though that are
big as my
just
head.
like that though. Like seriously,
Yeah,
there's some guys
that's
that
true.
like there's a strong chance he doesn't even lift. Like I've met guys like that, just genetic freaks, or like maybe he played football in high school or college, and that just sticks with you. Like I mean, I haven't lifted
Yeah.
a weight since March, and I still have my arms. I mean, I do some push-ups, but
Well, like for Paulo Costa, for instance, just to keep it with this card, he started lifting weights when he was 3
yeah,
and he did Olympic weightlifting in Brazil until he was 15, and then he started martial arts and all that. So he has like this muscle set and like stature that's
like
just permanently his.
ingrained.
It's his
Yeah,
physique,
it's
right?
his
Like he
physique.
developed his body in such a way.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, bodybuilding by definition for sure. But yeah, so I gave rounds 2 and 3 tonight. The takedowns and the ground and pounds, like I said, you could tell something clicked. He's like, oh, I'm way stronger. I smash. And
Yeah, because Kimur took his back in the second, and Knight literally just his
twisted
reversal on it.
around.
He literally just grabbed his arm and was like, "Come here, bitch." And I was like,
It
"Whoa!"
was he just manhandled him. Yeah, and then there was this other time where I'm probably gonna do a shitty job of describing it, but I think he had his back on the ground and he literally just like rolled
That's
over.
what I'm talking about. He just like literally spun
Just
on him.
like
He just
yeah,
was
just like he was like a greased pig, but like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he just rolled over. Like it was like
Yeah.
like he was like, oh, why doesn't everybody just roll over whenever somebody has your
That's
back?
what it looks like.
Like he made it look that easy. Like
I want to say Felder even made a point to say that he was like he did that switch inside for to go from rear mount to fucking I guess top mount, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Felder even was like, "Oh wow, he just literally rolled over in that position. He is so strong.
He just muscled through it like it was like he was wrestling like a girl at practice or something. Like seriously.
And to be honest, I mean, Knight ends up winning this fight.
Yep,
30-27 on 2 of the cards and 29-28 on 1 of the cards. So once again, we only agree with one of the judges here out of the 3.
Yeah,
you together.
So yeah, you gave round 1 to Kimur and the other 2 to Knight. And how did the other judges do it?
1 judge agreed with us. 2 judges gave all 3 to Knight.
Oh, all 3 to Knight. I mean, round 1
was close.
wasn't
First
dominant.
was close.
Yeah, it was close, but yeah, I think that was the consensus. Yeah, I feel it.
I'm a little nervous on that, but so Jason Knight, William Knight ends up winning in a unanimous decision. I really liked his interview after. Super genuine guy, super nice. Actually, kind of a fan of his. You know what I mean? Like, I will definitely be looking forward to his next fight. Same with Kimur. Kimur has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Only being 6-1, he trains. Once again, it's going to sound so fucking stupid, but trains in the same gym as Stipe, so you at least know he has quality coaches. That's more to do with the coaching than the training partners, you know?
Kimur, honestly, it's like I can't decide if Kimur looked small or if Knight's just so goddamn yoked that he would have made anybody look small.
I think Kimur has a ton of weight in his legs because I noticed at one point his like quads were fucking Saquon style.
Okay.
But then his upper
and that
body's
way it's hard
like
to
normal.
lose. Because if you're working out, like even if you're running, you're still working. Like if you just have that already, you know what I'm saying? I think
you got to go do like resistance swimming with your upper body. That's like the only way to really just get that V body with a tiny waist, Michael Phelps style.
Sure,
next, we'll keep it pushing though. The next fight, which I called this one on my picks as far as like how I liked it to end. Just hit it right on the head. With Shane, it's a 145 featherweight. It's Shane Young, who is a city kickboxing guy. He's a teammate of Israel, Brad Riddell, all those guys. First one here on the card tonight. Yeah, there are 4 of them. Shane Young's plus 115. He's fighting Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein is minus 135. He's the ex-Slovakian or Croatian, whatever fucking, I don't know.
I think he was like the first
right?
Slovakian fighter or some shit, right?
He's a Slovakian boxing champion. Like, he is the best boxer in Slovakia.
Wow.
And now he started training MMA.
It blows my mind how small those little countries are over there, and they all have their own languages. Like,
I know
that blows my mind. Like, that'd be like if essentially like Sacramento had a different language in the Bay Area, or like Dallas had a different language than Oklahoma City. Like that's the size that we're talking, or maybe even smaller. Probably smaller.
Smaller. You're talking like Dallas to Austin.
That's fucking wild. That's really wild. But anyway, sorry, I'm high and I think of shit like that. But anyway, it
is wild.
Ludovic Klein, first Slovakian fighter in the UFC, looked like an absolute savage. He looked so good. Good. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward to his next fight. Like how earlier we were saying, I could take it or leave it if he fights again. This guy, I'm circling it on the next card. I see his name on for sure.
Dude, his hand speed is wild as fuck. He is so fast. But then, if you notice his finishing, the way he finished the fight was actually a 6-piece combo where he throws the first 2. Shane Young dodges him. He throws that head kick, right? Young kind of catches the head kick, kind of eats it, gets a little wobbled. The next 3 punches, he lands clean every single one. And that's how he just outed him, just like that, right?
Yeah.
Important to note, Ludovic Klein, I'm sorry, I got it fucked up, by the way. I should apologize to William Knight. William Knight did not miss weight. Klein missed weight.
I thought so. I was like, damn, I didn't write that down, but I'm going to fucking trust my dog.
I fucked up reading my notes. Shout out to William Knight. I apologize.
Okay,
I owe that to him.
Yeah. I didn't think
Ludovic Klein missed weight by 4 pounds, and at 145, that's a bigger deal.
That's a way bigger deal. And in Ludovic, was he the one that had Khabib in his corner? No, it wasn't. That was somebody else. That was later in the car.
Yes, that is going to be No, you're good. We're gonna get this. It's Tukugov, Zubair Tukugov.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, Klein just dominated. Like dominated. Like it wasn't close. Striking looked ridiculously crispy. I remember there was this when they were replaying. So yeah, he got a head kick and then like a 3-piece for just a clean TKO. And
Yeah,
I remember that they replayed the knockout sequence, and even in slow mo, it still
it
looked
was fast. Yeah, that's why I said
It's
his hands. I wrote
ridiculous.
that. I wrote his hand speed is wild with just a shit ton of caps.
Seriously, yeah, seriously, it's just super athletic, but like precision athletic, not like wild
Yes,
man athletic. Like it's
not Michelle Pejea
no,
at all.
no, just he looked very clean, very precise, like very like technically sound, but just coupled with just this elite hand speed. Like
He was crisp,
yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to his next fight. Yeah, featherweight, so I'm sure if he wants to stay active,
stacked
there's a
division.
million guys he could fight. A lot of fun matchups Dana can make. He's kind of still in this early stage where there is no bad matchup because if they throw you somebody whack, you look really good and it builds your profile and you get a dope highlight. Or if they throw you somebody good, then kind of same thing. You
You
still
got
get
a
to build
quality
your
opponent at
brand.
least.
Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure, for sure. So look good. I mean, everybody in the building seemed to be impressed. The announcers, Dana. I mean, he definitely like impressed the right people that he needed to impress and set out what he needed to accomplish last night. So yeah, man,
Yeah, I mean, shout
definitely
out to him. Not a
Ludovic
lot to even
Klein,
break down other than just make
just
weight next time.
dominance. And yeah, make weight for sure, for sure. That does definitely stain it. Man, you know what else is like? Was last night his debut or was
It
it second?
is, and it was his debut. And what's also whack about it is that when you miss your first weigh-in at the
It
UFC, they
seems
give you
intentional. Or right? Oh,
no,
I'm
they
sorry. I thought.
no. You get two weigh-ins on the weigh-in day, right? You get your first one. If you're over, you get 90 minutes from your first time you
Oh
weigh in to
yeah.
then remake the weight, right? He didn't lose any weight at all from his first to second
Oh, that's
weigh-in.
what Adesanya was calling out. Oh, I was
He
kind of
just he just said, "I'll
understand.
eat the 4 pounds and just
Yeah.
not feel like shit and
Well,
beat his ass."
that's what made me think that it was intentional because
Yeah, it
and
was.
especially in guys' debuts, because in guys' debuts, like they would rather look good and sacrifice the money.
They get starched.
Yes.
And he's a
So
professional boxer already, so he has some money already.
yeah, so I think he was willing to. I think he did it on purpose. I think he said, "Fuck the money. I'll eat the 20%, and I'll
And like
come
what's
in
he
here."
what's he probably getting to fight on the undercard of debut? Like 10 and 10, 75 and 75? Like
That's what
what's
I'm
he lose?
saying.
A
So
1500 bucks,
20%
2 grand?
exactly,
Like but if he
exactly.
get but if he wins, he gets 7500 or 10 grand, you know what I'm saying?
And
So like
maybe a bonus in his thinking. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
yeah.
the
So like
upside is
way
there to
mhm.
potentially for these new guys. Like I said, I don't think it makes sense for like elite big name guys to miss weight because it just fucks up the money, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
right.
math. I think it's just like you'll hear me say that like the math makes sense on a decision. Like sometimes but like there's a threshold. Like there's a number where it stops making sense. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And I mean, it just depends on what you make, if you win, what your win. Because some guys, as crazy, oh, my bad, as it is, they have a win show contract, right? So they get half their money to show up,
yeah,
and then if they win, they get that same money again.
yeah.
Some guys have all show. Del Cerrone doesn't have a win loss. He's all show.
He better not.
Yeah, no, like he literally gets a quarter mil every time he rolls it out, and that's just it.
Wow. That's why Dana was so salty. He's like, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this. We're not getting our money's
Yeah,
worth.
he's like, hey, bro, then you come on, man, that's not a quarter mil that you just put out there.
Yeah, no, seriously. But yeah, man, we'll keep it pushing to another. It's ironic that we ended talking about
The
Donald Cerrone because we're gonna take it over to Diego Sanchez, kind of
New
just
Mexico, keep it New
continue
Mexico.
that. Well, and continue the aging fighters looking like shit narrative. I was
Dude,
thinking like,
Diego Sanchez's stomach tap, dog,
what
dog.
was it? I don't even know what
His
it
foot stance and his picture for his official UFC picture, dog.
was.
It looks like he's sucking his stomach in and it's puffing his
It
chest and
probably
ribs out.
is.
And then he's got like his like tits up too because his shoulders are back. And then he's like mean mugging the camera and I'm like, what fucking fighter profile picture is that retire? Retire. It's over, dog.
It's
Hang
over.
that shit up.
Well, it's
They
over for
literally,
more
they
reasons than
literally.
just his
My
picture.
first note on this fight is fuck this fight. Why did they make this fight, dude? Like
Well,
Sean.
yeah.
Oh my
I mean, the
God,
odds.
Mick
So
Maynard.
the odds is, are the the numbers itself tell you everything you need to know about this fight. So Diego Sanchez was plus 500. If you think that's crazy, just wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Jake Matthews was minus 700. I believe since I've really been paying attention to it, I think that's the highest one we've seen, right?
No, 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 no.
No, the girl
God,
fight, the
the
upset,
girl that
right?
lost at
Yeah,
minus 1200.
you're right.
It's the
You're right.
yeah,
You're right. But this is probably second.
yeah. I would want to. I want to say so. Yeah. I don't think we've seen. I
Well,
mean,
and this is the biggest because that last
yeah.
girl was like, I don't know, was that her debut, right? So like these were like two like UFC veterans. So like that's
I mean, even Hamzat was only minus 450
you're right.
in
Yeah,
this
this
last
was
fight.
bigger
So
than
it's like,
that. Yeah.
I mean, this was like a fight that, like, if the odds get to minus 700, why was it ever even made?
Yeah, no, exactly. That and it kind of just proves
Like,
pointless, but
I know in fighting everyone can get lucky and like that minus 1200, or it wasn't even necessarily luck, but you know what I'm saying.
you know
But at
what
the
it
same
was?
time,
You know what it was? Matthews and Dana were playing poker, and Dana said, "You know what? Instead of paying you this money, how about I just throw you a lollipop in your next one?"
God damn, dude.
But
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, Maria Agapova versus Shawna Dobson.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was the
that was the
yeah.
highest. That was ridiculous. That was so cool. But yeah. So Diego Sanchez plus 500, Jake Matthews minus 700, welterweight bout. Sanchez has fought in 4 weight classes now. Do you know what four they are? I'll be real. I was trying to think in my head and I gonna like make sense of it. What are the
Oh
4 weight
yeah.
classes?
70, 55, 45, and 85.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Because back in the original UFC days, there were only what was it? 55, 85, 205 heavyweight,
That's
and
right.
70. Those are the original five.
Okay.
So he jumped in all like so he at that point in his career did 85, 70, 55. Later on, weight cutting became like more like
And then
in style.
and then
So he did a
70 got
45.
added.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
that's
sure,
right.
for sure, for sure. All right, cool. That's interesting. And I mean, he was the Ultimate Fighter Season 1 champion. So I mean, that also tells you all you need to know. Just
Did
been at it a little too long. You know what I'm saying?
like did you score any rounds for Diego Sanchez? Let me just read my notes. All right, fuck this fight. Diego Sanchez should retire or not fight a guy on Matthews' level. Whack stomach tats. Diego Sanchez's camp and coaching are a joke, and he got cracked in the first. Congrats. Those are my notes.
Yeah, yeah. I gave all 3 rounds to Matthews. I thought it was really interesting. It was unanimously 30-26.
That's how
I
I scored it.
literally laughed. What round was the 8? I mean, because they
The
honestly,
third.
I'll be real. In my opinion, they all could have been 8s or none of them. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like
right,
they
right.
were
I will give
all
you
bad.
that.
So that's why I was
The third
confused by
might have
the
been a 7.
26.
Might have been a
Okay,
7 in the
so it was
third. Like we
definitely
might
the
have been just
third. All right,
yeah.
for sure. I think at that point I was just like such a foregone conclusion that I like wasn't even scoring numbers. I was just like, yeah,
God,
Matthews won it for sure. All right, yeah, no, yeah. So I don't
fuck that
remember
fight.
the last time I saw unanimous 30-26. That's
Yeah,
been
usually at least one judge will give you a 30-27 out of just being like,
yeah,
I
or
don't
you'll be
want to give
knocked
it like
out by
that.
them. Like usually, what happens if you're losing badly enough to get a unanimous 30-26, you're dead. But
Dude,
yeah.
he
So
was
I mean, I guess shout out to
his
Sanchez's chin. Like right? I mean, no, I
his
don't know.
coaching in his corner that he got in between rounds, dick. Okay, it was dick. He got dick for coaching, and then during the rounds, he also gets dick for coaching. They're yelling, "Let's go, Nightmare! Step it up, ramp it up. It's time to go."
like
What does that mean?
little league dad in the bleacher coaching.
Yeah, it's Randy out there.
I thought this was America.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, we'll keep it pushing. To Brad Riddell. That'll be the last fight on the
Featured
prelim.
prelim.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Brad Riddell, minus 320 favorite versus Alex De Silva. Was it Coelho? I don't know.
Coelho, right?
Coelho, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a plus 260 underdog. Um, lightweight bout at 155. And you know what? I'm actually going to pass this over to you because my stream fucked up for the first two goddamn rounds. Like,
Oh,
literally, it was golden all night. I had a potentially questionably legal stream going, and it
yeah.
was golden. It was money, except for the first two rounds of this fight. So I'll join you in round three, but take it away, my beefy brother.
Bet. No, I got it. So the first round was actually really good. Super back and forth. Riddell trying to strike. De Silva actually striking with him pretty well. I was surprised by that. Jake Matthews and Brad Riddell, both city kickboxing guys. Forgot to mention that
Okay.
for him.
Oh,
Just
both
keeping
of
with
them are.
Adesanya. Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually thought De Silva won the first round. He got a takedown, ground controlled Riddell for a little bit. Riddell did manage to get back up toward the end of the round and have some nice striking exchanges, but I just thought the control that De Silva had and the fact that he really wasn't losing the striking exchange too like undecidedly, right, was enough to get him the round.
Okay.
Now in
Okay.
the second round, in my opinion, Riddell opened up a ton. Like he actually started using his full striking arsenal, was distancing himself way better, started throwing some front kicks to like keep the distance
Okay.
and like keep De Silva at that range so he couldn't just get into a clinch or shoot for
So
a shot.
decided to fight his fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And so going into the third round, I scored it 19-19. Like I thought the second round was very clearly for Riddell.
Okay. So it's like
Um,
1-1 going into the third.
for sure. Yeah. And then
Okay.
the live
Those are the
odds
best
when
fights. I love those fights. Those fights
yeah,
are always fun.
the live odds going into the third round were Brad Riddell minus 130 and Alex De Silva plus 110.
Oh
So
wow.
it was that close. It was good. It was a good fight going into the third. And then you came back in the third?
Yeah, yeah. I came back in the third, just in time to see De Silva's fucking bitch ass
Bullshit eye poke?
fake
The
the
bullshit
eye
eye poke?
poke. Yeah, that's pretty much right when
Yes.
I came back. And I'll be real. I always give the benefit of the doubt to the fighter when there's an eye poke because too many times it doesn't get called. So I was all for like kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt, but it was clearly not an eye poke, and like there needs to be a way to penalize that because
Dude,
he
well the
like
thing
sold
is,
it too. Like he really like you know what I'm saying, like at the end of the day, he can always say like, oh, like it's the ref's decision, but we all saw like he was like
well
essentially like telling the ref, right? Or
he did get his eye like hit though, like the glove directly hit his eyeball. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna feel like he got poked,
yeah,
but that's the ref's job to say like that was a punch. But then also we have instant replay. So
we have
why was
instant
it
replay.
not? The
That's what
ref
I'm
can literally
saying.
come over. The ref can literally come over, break him up. The whole time the corner's shouting, he can say replay. Get it up on the screen, sees it's a glove, immediately turns to the guy, gentlemen, it's a glove. Square it up. Like,
Yeah,
are
yeah,
you going to
exactly,
continue? It's a
exactly.
TKO if you're not good. And I think that Riddell would have scored a TKO there,
Yeah,
to be
so
quite honest.
yeah, and I don't know. So that was just another example of the refs last night. Like it's weird. Last night, because usually when we bitch about refs, it's like a stoppage either being too early or too late. I think they actually did a great job of that. They just fucked up
Stoppages were
everything
great.
else. They fucked up
Yeah.
everything else. So it's like, God damn it, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know what I'm
Right. It's
saying?
like Herb Dean will manage all the other shit, but he can't get his stoppages right.
Yes, exactly.
But then these motherfuckers are great on a stoppage, but don't know the rules in the
And
cage.
I'll be real, I took that for granted. I was bitching so much about the stoppages that I just thought that the other shit was like automatic, but
Yeah,
we
me
see
too.
that like clearly that's not the case. So yeah, and then but I gave round three to Riddell. The pressure and he just was overall in front. He was to make the analogy, he was driving the car. Like
For
he
sure.
was in control of the fight. Like he was deciding where it went, how it went at that point of the fight by the third round after the fake eye poke. I think he was honestly pretty salty about the fake eye poke and like, decided to, let him have it. And then yeah, Riddell ends up winning the 29-28 unanimous decision. So yeah, the odds makers got that one right for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, just De Silva definitely had his moments. But
Yeah, I thought he looked like a pretty good fighter, but honestly, like Riddell just showed that he's one of those city kickboxing guys that's pretty much on that level. He is also, I should note, a main training partner to Dan Hooker, so
okay.
he does get to like spar with someone that's pretty fucking legit as far as striking.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. No, that's what's up. Well, hell yeah, man. And like I said, Not my favorite prelim. And I missed a
Yeah,
prelim.
I wasn't prelim McGee on this card, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
Main
but
card,
the
very
main
fire.
card delivers. So, most people will take that. Most people would probably rather have a banging main card and a weak prelim. We've just been treated to such amazing prelims lately that it kind of fell short for me on this one. But some good fights, some talented fighters nonetheless. I'll definitely come out of this with a big, appreciation for Ludovic Klein. That's
Oh yeah.
and William Knight. Those are my two
Hmm.
takeaways from that prelim. That's what made it worth watching for me. I came away with it really, really respecting those guys. Really looking forward to their
And
next fights for
that
sure.
Diego Sanchez should retire.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for that waste of time, Dana. But
Yeah.
I would like they could have thrown some straw weights in there. There's a million straw
Yeah,
weights there.
I was just about to say we only had one women's fight on this card, didn't we?
Yeah, I
It was
believe
only
so.
Caitlin Vieira and Sajara
But you
Eubanks.
know why? The Holly Holm card's coming up. That's like a whole bunch of
Oh
women. It's
yeah,
like
that's
like
right.
a
That's right. It's like
mostly
6 or 7
women's card. Yeah,
deep, right?
that's gonna be
Yeah.
fire. I'm looking forward to that. There's a bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
fun cards coming up. I didn't see all of them. I saw the Home. Do you see any of the other upcoming ones? I'm trying to think off the top
There's
of my
Home
head.
Aldana, yeah, Cannonier and Whitaker.
Cannoneer, yeah.
They're the end of
And that's
October.
even more fun now because Adesanya openly said that if Cannoneer wins, he wants him. So that makes that fight like instantly like quadruple in value.
Yeah, like the champion has already said, like, hey, here's your
It's like a
test, pass it,
tournament
and I'm
style at
waiting.
this point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
It's
tight.
like a semifinal for sure.
Oh, and then Khabib,
Yeah, with
he's
a
coming up 17th of October, right?
17th of October. Oh wow, they're doing. Oh, I guess.
Pretty sure
Yeah,
Khabib and
and
what's
Gagey,
his
right?
name? Gaethje,
That's
yeah.
gonna be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
You're
gonna be
motherfucking
so
right.
good. I don't even know how to feel about that one. I mean,
I'm stoked for that fight, dude. I love watching both those guys fight because they're
yeah,
so intense in what they do.
they're both so good. It's like part of me wants to say Gagey, but
He's
then
crazy enough to do it, right? Like he's
like,
just fucking crazy enough.
I'll put it this way: if there's a guy, he's the guy.
Right.
You
That's
know
why.
what
Like
I'm saying?
I feel like him or Tony Ferguson would have been the guy because they're crazy enough to just do whatever the fuck they want to do and not worry about what Khabib's gonna do.
At the same time, I'm not. I don't feel comfortable putting money against Khabib, right?
Never,
That seems
never,
like a
dude. And
shitty bet. That seems like a
like
stupid
DC
bet.
has told stories about him struggling to get off the ground whenever Khabib is in like top control on him, and Khabib literally weighs 100 less pounds.
That's yeah. No, that's super
So
wild.
it's like, how good is that guy wrestling? And Dustin Poirier, if you remember, after first round of their fight, he walks over his corner. And he says, I can't get him off me. I don't know I can't get him off me." That's all he could say. Khabib must be something different when you feel how he feels.
Bone density is a real fucking thing, bro. A
Yeah, it
real
is.
fucking thing. Like a very real thing. If you and it only comes from starting at like age 11, 12, and like grinding and doing badass shit. Like we both have it, not as much as they do, but
Yeah.
you take our bone, our leg bone, and compare it to some guy that's just been pushing pencils and fucking
Or like an
hitting
esports guy.
and he's exact somebody that's just never done anything physical or never had any impact or lifted any weights. It's gonna be night and day. It's gonna be like a chicken bone compared to like a goat bone.
That's a great point. Like I could take a helmet off the forearm playing football and it doesn't break my arm,
There's a
but some people
ton
that
of
might
people
happen.
that could not, like a ton of people. Like if you just like grabbed some skinny chode out of like Target electronics section, like that
It's
shit's
a really
gonna
good point, man.
fracture.
You almost never see like bone breaks in the NFL like that. Even in the NFL, it's almost always the ligaments and the
It's always the
muscles. It's almost
ligament.
never the bones.
Yep. Yeah, no,
Good point.
that's a very good point. Yeah, bones can be conditioned. Like bone density is a real thing. But we can
Ligaments, though,
yeah,
not as
ligament.
much.
I wish you could, man. That'll be the day,
Yeah,
right? When there's like ligaments,
yeah.
vitamins. You just take your ACL vitamins every morning and you're
Or
good
when
to
you're
go.
just Joel Romero dominates the genetics. And did you hear the doctor that said his tendons on his eyes were 4 times thicker than the regular tendons in a human's eyes?
Well, yeah, there's definitely genetic freaks out there. But all right, and we're back for this main card. Banging main card delivered all the promises. Well, some of the promises. Definitely lived up to the hype. Really fun main card. Really fun co-main and main event. Um, we'll get Harrison back on here with us in just a second. But I know a lot of people watched last night's card. Like I was getting way more engagement on like social media last night than I typically do for like a fight night. So I know it's a big night in the fight world in the sports community. But yeah, let's get Harrison on here.
Hey, what up?
Hey, my guy. But yeah, bro, I was just saying, like last night, like just having my pulse on kind of like social media, like the sports like fan community. Last night seemed like a big night for UFC. Like a lot of
A
casuals, as they
lot of
would say,
tweets.
have had their eyes on the fight, and I think that's a great thing. I love when that happens. Like I was getting a bunch of engagement on like social media posts about the fights, and like a bunch of people were watching. Man, it was a lot of eyes were on last night that aren't typically on.
Dude, like I would say like even like the Nelk boys and like a few other celebrities that I was just like has no place with anything to do with like fighting whatsoever were advertising the brand, and like that's going to help grow the sport more than anything else is
More than
getting it to people
anything,
that have nothing to do with it in any way and they're just showing it, you know what I mean? So
exactly. I think all these people, all these years, have been saying like, "Oh, soccer's gonna replace hockey as the fourth sport," and like, I think if
nope.
anything it's gonna be MMA. It's already replaced boxing. I mean,
Boxing is dead, dude. I mean, I know
I'm
the
a
Charlo brothers
baseball
fought last
fan,
night,
and I'm
but
saying that UFC is breathing down the MLB's neck as far as just like what people like to spend their time watching. I
yeah,
mean, they're
but it
two different animals. The marathon, the 162 game. See, like they're two different, very different things, two different kind of demographics. But I don't know, man. I feel like the UFC is creeping up on the MLB.
I just wish fighters could get paid like the MLB. You know what I mean?
But that comes with time, though. That really only comes with time. And I know that sucks, and nobody wants to hear that. But like the MLB players have spent the past 100 years fighting for that.
That is a
UFC's
great
been
point.
around for like what, like 15 fucking years, 20 years, 25 years.
20, 25. Yeah, and really like the way it works is not even at that level yet, even close, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
what
like
I'm saying. I think it will, and I'm not even saying it'll take 100 years, but it takes more than 25. I mean,
yeah.
if you think about it, how many years has it even been on ESPN? Because let's count then. Like I'm not talking about back when it was like in the porn section of your VHS store. Like how many years has it been in the mainstream? Like how
Four
like
years. 4 years.
4 years on ESPN Plus, and then I know even before then though they would still like talk about it on ESPN, like even like in like the Lesnar
They like
days, and
reference the results and then they show pictures, not like live action. It was like some bullshit, honestly.
yeah. But even then, I'm saying that's probably less than 10 years. So like we gotta consider that's where we're starting from.
Yeah, I mean, and I also like to think that like hockey. I was watching hockey. As much as I love hockey, man, I'll take MMA over hockey too.
Oh, for me that's easy, but I'm not a big hockey guy. Being here
I
in
mean,
San Jose, I have gone to two Sharks games. I have a lot of fun, but like it's not something that like I want to like invest time like learning about or like invest like space in my hard drive like knowing the name of the players and
yeah,
shit. You know
yeah,
what
like
I'm
actually
saying?
get invested in the team and their
Yeah.
success and all that because it's like why would I? I don't love the sport.
Like
It's cool to see
honestly,
them do well for the city's sake, but
exactly. Like exactly. I like how happy people are around here when the Sharks are playing well and in the playoffs and shit. And like it gives people something to talk about, and it's cool. It's cool. It's
and that
and
is San Jose's like legit team. You know what I mean? Like what
exactly.
other team do you guys have? I guess the Warriors you might count, but that's Oakland really.
Well, now they're in San Francisco, and then
Oh,
yeah,
they did move. That's
yeah,
right.
and I mean the Niners are getting real close. Technically, the Niners are in Santa Clara, not San Jose. But I mean that's like saying, oh, that's in Edmond, not in Oklahoma City. Like it's
It's the
essentially the
same.
same shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of splitting hairs. But yeah, they're the only team that says San Jose on the jersey, the Sharks. So well, we have the
That's legit.
Giants minor league team, like, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
Nah, but
minor
the
league.
Sharks are real like
Yeah.
pro, like division, like I don't not division, but top level pro team. So it's like that is really sick. And of course, the fan base in the city, like they're gonna naturally want to rep someone that reps their city on their chest.
Yeah, and the
All the
gear is
same.
dope, bro. Like the mascot, the
Yeah, the sharks
sharks
have
and the
the
colors.
sickest shit.
The gear
Like
is
the
super
OG
dope.
shark shit, like the shark snapping through the
Yeah,
stick. Like it's all so sick.
no doubt, no doubt. So, but I don't know, man. It wouldn't shock me, and like if our grandkids grew up in a world where like MMA has surpassed baseball and hockey.
I would love that, to be honest.
I think it's realistic. Like I don't think it's like that far like out of bounds. Like I don't know. And I'm a baseball fan saying this. So before all these people listening or watching think like, oh, everybody just likes to shit on baseball. Huge Oakland A's fan. I was gonna have season tickets before the pandemic hit. I had to get my money back. Like big baseball guy. So I'm gonna keep watching baseball. But as a baseball fan, I can just tell you that not that many people give a shit. Like honestly,
Yeah.
and even baseball's weird. Like I give a shit about the A's, but like I'm not about to watch like Twins Royals. Like
No,
I'm
hell
just
no.
not. Like I'm not.
And
Like,
but in the same aspect too, like you actually give a shit about the A's. I was talking to a guy last night about baseball, and we both agreed that like I can go to a baseball game, but I'm not really there for the game so much as I'm there for the experience at the park and like just the whole like I don't know, man. For baseball, I just feel like you were saying earlier, like it's been around for over 100 years. Like it almost has this like legacy feel to it. When you're at a game, it's like get some peanuts, get a hot dog, like fuck
yeah,
around,
oh,
watch the
I
seventh
go
inning
hard at
stretch.
baseball
Like
games, bro. Because like I'm not a club guy. Like I don't go to clubs. Like I'll sometimes go to bars, but like not the trendy bars. Like I like dive bars and breweries and
hey,
shit.
real quick, if we're talking bars, clubs, go ahead and drop clubs off the face of the earth and throw bars to the top. I'm a bar guy till I die.
Yeah,
Going
yeah.
to the club, I don't fuck with going to the club, man.
So I say all that to say that like when I would go to A's games at the Collie, like that was my version of the club. Like that was the party. Like that's bro. I'm smashing beers full like
Oh
just
my god!
just shitty on Bart after the game. Like
Didn't you
it's
get like the half off beer deal?
yeah. If you're a city or if you part of like A's Access, like have a little package deal. Yeah, you get the half off beers, which you literally make your money back so quick. Like so quick, bro. Like I get cheaper beers at A's games than I do at most bars. Like $6 pints.
Oh wow! You get $6, 16 ounces of what? Like any domestic draft?
Yeah, yeah,
Legit. So you can
yeah.
get Budweiser
Or you
six
get
point.
half off of other shit too. It's just more because it has a higher starting price. So the discount's not limited to
Oh,
just like
so you
draft.
could be get like a Lagunitas IPA for like let's
Yeah,
say like $8 or whatever it is.
exactly.
That's
Definitely.
legit.
Yeah, no, it's really clutch. So yeah, and then like $3 hot dogs and shit at a pro game, bro. Like you can't even
Wait,
fucking
you get $3 hot
yeah,
dogs?
because they're usually six. Everything's half off, bro.
You get everything half off?
Food and drinks. Yeah, dog.
Oh, I thought it was only the
And then
beers.
25% off merch. Like no, it's dope, bro. The A's
That's a
take care of like
crazy
their fans.
package.
Like the A's take care, and I'll be real, and still nobody goes to the games, bro. Like we have a huge attendance problem. Like it's like a laughing stock. Like it's like a known joke in the Bay Area, and like there'll be like 9,000 fans there. I mean, they play in the
What?
Coliseum. It holds like 60,000. Like there'll be like 9,000 like people are there. That's why I was honestly really pissed. Like when they canceled the season, like all like jokes aside, like I swear to God, this isn't tongue in cheek. Like A's games were legitimately social distance, like dead ass, bro. Like you have 9,000 people in a 60,000 seat stadium. Like it's totally safe. Like it's like legit. I was like,
Yeah,
I
I
thought
mean,
they
I
were
can do
gonna
that
find a
math.
way to pull it off. Like I was like, dude, there's no way they're worried about social distancing at A's games. Like literally, the only game that's packed is the Giants A's game, like
Oh,
the
because the
rivalry.
rivalry.
Yeah, you get
Yeah,
both teams' fan bases pouring in from all over
yeah.
the
San
Bay.
Fran and Oakland battling the
Yeah,
battle for the Bay.
I went last year. It was a lot of fun, but
That
man,
sounds like fun.
we are way off the road and beaten path. I'll steer us back. I can talk that shit all day, but I know our listeners wanna hear some MMA. So yeah, let's get to this beefy main card. And I'll let you introduce it, brother. I loved this fight.
Yeah, I loved this fight as well. I actually, in my text I sent you for my picks, I said this would probably be fight of the night. In my opinion, it was fight of the night.
There's an
Just
argument for
because,
it. It was a great
just
fight.
because it was so back and forth. Um,
It was a
I
great
think
fight.
that's for me. That's more what a fight of the night is. Because like Royval and Kai Kara France, we'll get there. Was a great fight, but
Too
it like
one-sided.
pretty one-sided, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get there.
No,
But
I get that logic. I'm not mad at that logic. Like that makes sense to me. Like I'm not like that.
because I feel like two guys that went to war the hardest deserve that bonus. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna say it's the fight of the night, like it should be the two guys that fought the hardest against each other
I,
cumulatively.
like it takes two to tango type of deal. Like you
Correct.
can't
Yeah.
hold. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So it's Hakeem Dawodu. It's 145 featherweight. Once again, featherweight stacked as fuck.
Fast stacked as
Uh,
fuck. Yeah.
Dawodu is a Canadian fighter. Mean Hakeem is his nickname, which I actually like. He always looks pissed off as hell.
Bro,
He
you
was
know who
plus
he looks like? He fucking
who?
looks just like he looks just like NBA YoungBoy.
Holy shit, he
Where's this?
does.
I wrote this down. Why am I not?
Yeah, he does, especially with the way he like purses his face forward too.
Yes.
Damn, that's wild.
Oh yeah,
So
there it is. Yeah, I knew I wrote that wrong. I know I'm not tripping. Yeah, he looks just like NBA YoungBoy to me. I swear. I was like, oh my god, like how is nobody tweeting that he looks like NBA YoungBoy? Probably because a lot of UFC fans don't know who NBA YoungBoy is. But like, I don't know. I thought he
he
looked
does
just
though. Even
like.
the way he wears his hair is the
Yeah,
exact
the way he
same.
wears his hair, I think he has like a scar on his head. He like has like
That is
the mean
crazy.
mug. He looks so much like NBA YoungBoy to me. But I don't know. Just side note there. But yeah, he was the plus 115 underdog, so very close in the betting odds. And then minus 135 for Tukagov.
Yep, Zubair Tukagov, who's a teammate of Khabib. Khabib was actually in his corner.
Yes,
Was one of his
Khabib was
cornermen
in his
last night.
corner. Yes.
Now, how did you score the first one?
Well,
First round.
and then we've touched on this in part one, but Tukagov did miss weight by 4 pounds, and
Oh yeah, I should have said that.
at
And that's fucked
featherweight,
up at
at
45.
featherweight, that's a big fucking deal. And then apparently he was even more disrespectful because apparently they gave him like 90 minutes to try to lose the weight, which good luck losing 4 pounds in 90 minutes. But anyway, it's kind of the whole principle of the thing. He didn't even attempt. He was like, "Fuck it, I'll just miss weight and give up the
Yeah,
money."
he did the exact same thing that what's his name did again. Ludovic Klein did. Ludovic Klein did the exact same thing. They both were like, "Fuck that! I'm not cutting those 4 pounds. Like I'm just gonna feel good and take that L on the money."
Yeah, and just it's part of being a pro. It's part of being, I guess, if you want to use the word fair. Like I'm not a real big fan of the word fair, but I mean, it's just kind of like being a man of your word, right? Like you guys both signed a paper saying that you would make this weight. Like that's the agreed upon terms. Like nobody like forced you to agree upon those terms. Like you agreed to those terms. Now fucking hold up to your end of the bargain. You know what I'm
It
saying?
feels unprofessional, like like deflating footballs.
Yeah, and so granted, I know it's easier said than done. Like I'll never pretend I know what it's like to cut weight. So I'm not, but it's the whole attitude of, oh well, I missed it. You know what I'm saying? Just the kind of like give a shit factor. I would like to like
Yeah,
see
like
more. You know what I mean? I don't want
like
it to be so
I want it to feel
accepted.
like it matters to them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Like we've talked about it on past breakdowns when guys miss weight and they're super humble about it and like apologetic and say it won't happen again. You kind of, you're more forgiving of it. But yeah, for sure, man. So how did you score round one? I'm really interested.
Um, I actually scored it for Tukagov.
Me too. Me too. I did too.
I thought it was super even in their
Super
exchanges.
close. Super
Tukagov was
close.
more active
That
though.
big right hand. That big
Yep,
right hand from Tukagov is up until that big right hand to me. It was like a coin flip 50-50,
yeah,
super close. Like, but to me, the right hand sealed it for Tukagov. I mean, very close round though. Like anybody that gave it to Duodu isn't like out of line. But I that to me that right hand gave it to Tukagov. To me, it was enough to. It was the most decisive single act that occurred in the round, in my opinion.
So let me ask you how you scored the second round because Twitter was all in on Tukagov winning the second.
I gave round two to Tukagov, but really only because of that end of the round takedown. And this is another one, bro, where I'll fully admit where I'm kind of scoring it as how I think they're scoring it more so than like what I think is right if I was like the judge of the universe. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
so I thought that takedown at the end of the round, like I know for a fact judges like that shit. Like what right, wrong, or indifferent. I know judges like that shit. And up until that point, it was a very, very close round. And we've talked about it before on the podcast, how it's kind of like a weighted grade. Like the end of the round is weighted more heavily than the beginning of the round. So to
absolutely.
me, There was very close striking to start the round, but to me, in like a razor thin edge, I thought the takedown at the end was enough to give it to Tukugov. Once again, though, anybody that gave that round to Dawodu, totally like respect it and see where you're coming from. Like not out of line at all. Very close fight.
Okay, all right, I agree with that. Like that breakdown for sure is like because I wrote pretty much the same thing. Dawodu might have won due to the first 3 minutes, but nice takedown at the end by ZT. And then I also wrote like I don't know how each judge is going to score this because depending on what you like in a fight, you're going to score this differently too because these guys are so stylistically different.
It was a 100% a subjective fight. It was like without a doubt, it was a styles make fights. What judges liked what. Also, quick side note. I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but like Gordon Ramsay was like tweeting about the fight.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
thought that was super dope. I don't know why I think that's dope. But I
There's
thought
like a
that was
lot
dope.
of like celebrities, man, that like
Yeah,
literally have
eyes were
no
on it.
bearing on MMA. It was dope. It
Yeah,
was super dope.
and then like on this fight, Twitter seemed to be split. Like
Very split. How'd you score the third?
the third, let me see here. First off, I want to say absolutely loved how Dawodu was talking mad shit in round
Dude, yeah, he was
three.
like, let's fucking
He was
fight. Fight
screaming.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Which the only thing I'll say is
The
I
thing
feel
was whack was the ref telling him not to cuss. Hey,
yeah,
there's
this
no
isn't
crowd
Top
here,
Gun
ref.
and it's a
And
pay-per-view.
also, it's a pay-per-view. And also, they're grown fucking
Like
men.
we could have the
Shut
ring
up.
girl showing titties if we want to. It's a pay-per-view. Like this
Yeah,
isn't
like you're
fucking Sunday
goddamn right.
choir. You know what I'm saying? Like
And there's
yeah.
no general admission
Yeah, there's
as
no
far as
kids.
audience.
Yeah, you can't use the kids' audience, the argument. I agree. I agree. I love when they call each other bitches and motherfuckers and all that. But
Yeah, like tell Sataki to shut the fuck up.
like you can't tell a guy that looks like NBA YoungBoy not to cuss. Like you lucky he doesn't
Right.
have a fucking gun in there. But
Yeah.
fucking but yeah, so let me see. Round three actually I gave to Dawodu. Just the pressure, the striking, the control, just the momentum. I guess that's kind of like a cheap bailout like reason, but just he had it, whatever it was, he had it in round three. My
I think
my
he won the third as well.
my thing with the huffing and puffing and screaming though, just like keeping it a buck, like in my opinion, where was that in round one and two? If you would have had that same energy in round one and two, you probably would have won the goddamn fight. Like in my
Yeah, that's a good
opinion,
point.
he wasn't
Well,
doing all that in round one. Like he was a different
Tukagov was
fighter in round
tired
three.
though. Tukagov
Tukagov
was
was
fucking tired.
dead tired. Yeah,
So
and he
maybe
knew it.
Dawodu should have just gone for it.
He should, yeah. And I thought, because like according to my scorecard and some of the judges, or actually apparently not enough of the judges, but according to my scorecard, Tukagov had won the first two rounds. So I thought he was just trying to survive round three.
And he was, and he thought the same. One of the
Yeah,
judges agreed with you, and I
yeah.
honestly have no problem with that assessment whatsoever. See, I had it the opposite though. I had it coming down to the final round.
And so was it ended up being a unanimous decision or split decision?
Split decision, but
Okay.
here's what's fucked up. One judge had it 29-28 Dawodu. One judge had it 29-28 Tukagov. The other judge had it 30-27 Dawodu.
That's bizarre. But,
How the fuck?
well, I know how the fuck, because
I mean, I guess the first round was close,
the
but
first
like,
two were super close. But
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
hate
yeah,
it
yeah.
to him. But I'm just saying, like,
I just
it's
feel
not
like the
like
first, like,
inconceivable. I'm just saying that I've seen worse. Like, it's not like
yeah, I've seen
inconceivable.
worse.
Like,
I've seen
there's
worse.
some where I can't even like devil's advocate. Like, like you ever got assigned like an English class, had to argue like against a point that you actually believe in. You know what I'm saying? Just to like
Yes, yeah.
practice making the argument. Like sometimes I can't even like do that. Like I can't formulate a defense. Like but this one I could like it's conceivable. I could like I could see a scenario where they gave it to him. Like it's not egregious. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So did this win fight of the night?
No.
No, didn't. Yeah, it could have. It easily could have.
I think all three rounds were so good. You got Dawodu screaming in his face at the end. They're trading. There's takedowns. There's nice stand up. I just thought it had more than any of the other fights. Like I know there's a lot that happened in Kai Kara-France, Brandon Roybal, but I'm just in on Dawodu and Tukagov, man.
This was a great fight. It really was. Another slight underdog cashing. Dawodu on a 5-fight win streak. It had
Yeah, it
the
looks
most
nice.
G-ass post conference. He said, "Who do you want to call out next?" And he's like, "Give me somebody who ain't gonna run." I
Yeah, give me a
love
top
that.
10.
He said, "Give me somebody who ain't gonna run." But I do want to ask where that energy was in round one and round two, NBA
It's a
young
fair
boy.
question.
But hey, it is what it is. He was feeling himself. He's a bad motherfucker. He fought a great fight. He really did fight a great fight. Whether or not, and this was another weird one, and I think I talked to you a little bit about this last night. But this was a fight where my notes said Tukagov, but after round three, like just watching in real time with my eyes and me being a human and getting caught up in what I'm seeing, I like wasn't mad at the Duwodu winning. Like it was weird. Like I kind of disagreed with myself. Like as I was taking notes, my notes seemed to kind of lead for Tukagov, but then
That's how
the
mine are. But then, like, that second round, man, I literally full coin flip on the second. And I think at the end of the fight, Dawodu won the fight, but just the whole, like, if I don't know, I don't want to cut you off from your point, but I
no,
feel
go,
like,
go ahead.
eye test by the end of the fight, Dawodu was the winner based on how it
That's what
appeared.
I'm saying. Just by if you watch this fight with no notepad, no scorecard, nothing, and you just ask me afterwards who won that fight, I'd be like, oh, Duwudu. But just like I don't know, the first two rounds, it's more so the first than the second. Turkogov looked pretty damn good, but the third round and it's weird. It's like, is the third round worth more than the first round? Like, should it be? Should it not be? It's just this weird MMA kind of
That's
question.
how that's how Pride used to score it. They used to say the end of the round was worth more than the beginning.
I
But
mean,
that's a weird thing to do.
but it is though. It's just like acknowledging human nature. Like it is, like
Hmm.
whether we want it to be or not. Like that's what I actually like that they did that and they acknowledge that because like I think we do that too much even outside of fighting. But there's just like certain aspects of like human nature that we try to act like aren't just what I'm saying, just like part of being a human, and we try to like and I don't know, but we do that for sure, just like self denial. But yeah, great fight. Like that fight alone was better than anything on the prelims, in my opinion. But what do you
I
think?
thought so. I no, I
Oh,
like I
you
said,
thought it
man.
was fight of the night, so yeah,
Yeah,
never
like
mind. That was a dumb question. All right, you're
sorry,
good,
my
man.
my phone keeps trying to bring up this alarm, and I guess I hit snooze the first time. My bad. Um,
You're good.
sorry.
You're
So the
good. You're
next
good,
fight,
man. But yeah, we'll keep it
I actually
pushing.
had a little bit of stream trouble on this next one, and the second round was messed up for me.
I can
But
let
I don't
yeah.
think it mattered. I don't
You
think
can
it mattered.
you can
But
lean
I'll
on
let
me on.
you.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
Yeah,
I got you, man. What is it? What's her name? Ketten? Ketten?
Ketlin Vieira.
Ketlin. Sorry, my handwriting sucks. Ketlin Vieira, who is ranked number 7 in the women's bantamweight 135 division, versus Sahara Eubanks, who we had just saw fight a few weeks ago, and who was ranked number 13 in that bantamweight division. And Vieira was getting minus 180 as the favorite, and Sajara was plus 160 as the underdog. So this is like that sweet range where me and you feel comfortable betting on a fight if we like one person. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
like this is
right.
like a good way to make a little money betting on an underdog. These plus 160. I mean, it didn't work out in this fight, but I'm just saying like that. Trying to give our viewers and listeners, just slight little betting advice for new gamblers and things like that. Like that's something we talk about. You like those plus 300s are like unless you feel really strongly or have a big bankroll to bet on the favorite, um, not the best fight for an average Joe to bet. But these fights are where you can find some cool numbers. The high 100s, the low 200s. You can find some fun action to get in on. But yeah, round one. I gave it to Vieira. The striking, the range, and she got a takedown. So kind of like
I agree.
both
I thought she
phases.
like. I was honestly surprised to see her get the takedown too, because Eubanks is a pretty good
Good
wrestler.
wrestler, yes. I'm glad you mentioned that for sure. So yeah, I gave round one to Vieira. I mean, she was the taller fighter. Her striking, her range, and like I said, you capped that off with the takedown. It was a pretty decisive round one for me.
Yeah, I
Ra-
absolutely agree.
Round two, I gave to Vieira again. The striking, not so much the takedowns or grappling, but just her striking was really crisp. The range, Just was a taller, bigger fighter. Was piecing her up a little bit. And then round three though, and I love when a fighter, even if they don't win, I love when a fighter loses rounds 1 and 2 and then comes out strong for three. It says a lot about you. Like your
Eubanks is
character.
definitely. I definitely think she's a warrior for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. She has the warrior spirit. Her character is tested. She has stones, of course, in the metaphorical sense. She's she's a badass. So, like, I love when a fighter, maybe loses the first 2 rounds and then comes out strong in three, like it's saying over, motherfucker, you're gonna have to try to finish me. Love that. So I actually gave round three to Eubanks, having said all that, and
Oh,
but I just thought
wow.
that it wasn't enough, obviously.
Did
Maybe
you?
that was me giving her an A for effort. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe,
say, was it just activity that you liked in that
yeah, it
round,
was.
or
It was. It
because
was.
I
It was
thought Vieira was
activity.
still landing pretty clean in the third too.
And to me, you know what it was, and I'll make a cross sport analogy. It was a team that's down by 4 touchdowns, and their quarterback gets a bunch of passing yards in the second half.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so it's like I think she won it, but how much is it worth anything? No, but I think that just like numbers wise and just output and volume, she did enough to maybe if you wanted to give her the third round, I did. But do you know if any of the judges did? Did you write down did all the judges score
Yeah.
30-20?
No,
Okay.
all the judges scored at 30-27, all
Okay.
three.
So yeah, that was probably me giving an A for effort. Maybe I kind of wanted it. I really liked her after her last fight.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, there was no debate Vieira won the fight. I mean, if you want to debate me over who won the third round, I mean, I'm not going to die on that hill. But
yeah.
yeah,
Caitlin Vieira was number 7 as well.
yeah,
I forgot to mention that Eubanks number 13,
yeah.
135, right?
Yes, at 135 bantamweight. Yeah. So I mean, she's definitely getting top five next.
Yeah,
Definitely. I have a feeling because of her size and length and her unique matchup, like problems that she presents, I have a feeling they're gonna try to probably rush the process. If I don't know, I could see them trying to just skip her up
you
fast.
you think if Aldana beats home, that Aldana and Vieira fight to see who would fight Nunes?
That would make a lot of sense to me, unless Vieira likes to say super active. She didn't take a lot of
Right,
damage. That would
right.
obviously like double her wait time if she fought somebody who fights in like a month. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
The women's bantamweight division is very interesting. I don't know. Do you have ability to pull it up right now, or would that be a pain in the ass?
No, I don't think well, I might be able
No,
to.
no, you're good.
Nah, I don't.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, don't even sweat it. But yeah, man, well, that was a good fight. Another one that went the distance, but wasn't a boring fight. I definitely don't think I would not consider that
No,
a
I
boring
was
fight.
no,
I was. It was a good fight.
like I said, I missed the second. So to be honest with you, seeing Eubanks as competitive in the third as she was, I was kind of like very interested when they came back to see the judges' scorecards because I was like, did Eubanks like steal the second and try to like really get this fight? Like, and then when I heard 30-27 times three, I was like, well, she must have just not even put it up in the second.
Yeah,
But
no, she got pretty much pieced up in rounds 1 and 2. It's like it's almost like she woke up in the third or just like dug deep or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, she looked pretty damn good in the third. If she would have fought 3 rounds like she fought the third round, I'm pretty
or even
confident she
two.
wins the fight. Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't want to say two because she didn't win the round on the scorecard,
True,
but I
true,
think
true.
3 rounds at that pace and that quality was probably get her a finish. Honestly, is what I was thinking. But either way, Vieira won. Not a terrible loss for Eubanks, but probably falls. Do you think she falls out of the top 15? She
Yeah,
lost.
I fucking hate Ciara Eubanks. I'll never bet on her ever, 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 ever. I hate her.
I really know how Harrison feels there. All right, yeah,
Well, her
man.
record's 7-5. Her record's 7-5. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah,
Let's be fair. Her record in the UFC is 3-3.
yes. No,
Come
terrible
on.
record.
Like, yeah, it's all bad, man. Like, if I'm Stats McGee over here,
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
true.
just can't defend her.
Yeah, no, very good point. Very good point. So she falls out. That opens up a women's bantamweight ranking. That's cool. I'd like to see some fresh young blood in there for sure.
Sarah Alpar.
Oh, she's gonna be in the fucking Red Cross tent for a minute, but
Yeah. Well, her wedding's in 2 weeks. Poor girl.
was probably I would assume.
Yeah, I would assume as well.
Fucking
That is
yeah.
sad.
Anyway, I'm not gonna say anything too savage, but
Anyway, yeah,
let's
we'll
take a
move
push
on to
into
the
Dana White's fight of
yeah,
the night, not Harrison's fight of the night, but
not my
Dana
fight of the
White's
night.
fight of the night. Go ahead and introduce him, buddy.
So at 125, feather or what is this division called?
Flyweight.
It's the flyweight. Yeah.
125. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Flyweight. So we got Bosaki ref against Kai Kara France, the city kickboxing guy, minus 220 versus Brandon Royval. What is Kara France ranked? I forgot to write down. Royval's
Actually,
number 9.
Car France, it got up to minus 270.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, it got, so that means it got bet up, right?
Yeah,
Bet down or whatever.
a bunch of people poured money in then on Kara France.
But
What was he
maybe
ranked, by the way? 7?
7. Yeah, a couple of ranked
And
sevens, yeah.
Royval's ranked number 9.
Number
He was
9, good
at
matchup on paper.
he was at what? Plus
Plus
2
190. It got,
190. Okay.
yeah, so the number moved. Apparently, that was a line that moved quite a bit. Which
Yeah.
On the last episode of my other podcast, Dreadful Talk, me and Harrison were explaining how the lines can be bet up and bet down. So this was a prime example to anybody that's watched that episode and is currently
that's exactly right.
So, but yeah.
Did you notice Brandon Royval's nickname before we even get down to the breakdown?
Glad you mentioned it. Mount nickname Moore just needs to get a new carving, get the chisel warmed up because Brandon Raw Dog Royval, Jesus Christ, I'm surprised they let him do it. But
I can't believe, I can't believe Dana's like, yeah, that's cool.
Dana's a scumbag. He's cool as Raw Dog.
Dana is a scumbag. Yeah. Dude, the first 20 seconds of this fight, banging. They both just came out going at it.
I think that's probably what won him the bonus. Honestly, that opening
Well, Royval has that crazy aggressive jiu-jitsu from his back. He's always throwing up a submission of some sort, or the leg lock, or getting fucking wild. And then he hit Francais with a huge knee whenever Kai got up and then came back in on his own shot. It was a crazy amount of action.
Royval?
Dude, my notes actually, I wrote, Royval takes the first 10-9, and it feels unfair not to score it 10-10. That's how I genuinely felt about the first round. I thought it could have been I don't know if you can do that.
Great fight.
I legit was that's a 10-10 round. That shit was so good on both sides.
I gave it to Royval. I didn't see it as close as you.
No, I mean I scored it for Royval.
But you just appreciated.
I really could have if you. Yeah, in other words, if you had scored it 9-9 and said no one actually definitively won it, I'd have been okay with it. But I'm probably being too big on Car fronts, to be honest, because Royval was so aggressive from his back. Yeah, he was so good off his back that he was probably more dangerous in those positions.
Yeah, but round 2, Royval ends up getting that guillotine submission, wins as a plus 190 underdog, and is probably, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Especially winning the bonus, you think they toss him top 5 next? Because he's going to move up to at least 7, right? And
well, if you beat 7 by submission, then I feel like you have to at least be 7, maybe probably 6, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So you got to get a 5 or higher.
That's interesting. That's a weird division. I feel like the flyweight division is the least active division. I feel like there's not as many bodies. It's a weird.
There's very few. It's kind of like heavyweight though too, the extremes.
The ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that makes a lot of sense for sure. That's a hard weight class for a grown man to make 125.
Yeah,
pounds.
dude.
That's
that's
kind of crazy. You got to be a little motherfucker in a how many just little hard asses are there?
That's not even 2 plates on the bar.
No,
you know what I'm saying? 135 is a plate on each side in the bar when you bench.
Point.
They weigh less than that, bro.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even put it into perspective. Yeah. No, that is not a lot at all. Just numbers walking around out there. Not too many of them. You're right, both ends of the spectrum for sure. But now let's get to some fun.
Some title fights, baby. Let's go. These were These were great. These were great.
Great.
Yeah. So first belt on the line is actually thanks to John Jones relinquishing it. It's Dominic Reyes, the number 1 contender, versus Jan Blachowicz, who is the number 3 contender. Number 2 is Thiago Santos, who is scheduled to go over to Shera. They had a COVID fallout, so you'll see Santos maybe fight Blachowicz if they don't want to reschedule it, or if they do get that rescheduled.
I think that's what's going to happen.
He wants to fight Santos. It's his last loss.
Somewhat talking shit to John Jones right now, but fuck that. And we'll get to that. Don't let me forget about. I do want to touch on Jones before we move on from this. But I think Santos Blachowicz is next for sure. But yeah. So whenever Jones vacated the 205 belt in pursuit of heavyweight, you know, in chasing heavyweight belt, Reyes was the number one contender, and Blachowicz is the number three contender. And I think Santos is recovering from injury right now, which is why
Right, yeah.
Blachowicz was up instead of him as the number three ranked fighter. But yeah, for the light heavyweight 205 belt, super exciting fight. Both of these guys, super dangerous. Both of these guys, it's weird. Like when I was trying to compare these fighters and study for this fight, it's like they had so many things in common and they had so many things that are like polar opposite. Like
Yeah.
like they both really like to knock people out, but Reyes does it in like this lanky way, and
Super
and
fluid.
Blachowicz is like super thick bodied and powerful, and he drops people that way. It's just it's like I can't make up my mind if they're the same or if they're different. Like they're so different, but like what they're trying to do is the same. Like I don't know. Like they two different ways to skin a cat, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because like Dominic Reyes is all about that like explosive, like in and out power. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like quick strikes, like really using like his athleticism to be there and then not be there when they try to return fire or before they can defend it. Whereas Blachowicz is all about staying in tight, super composed, super compact, and just firing these short shots that are just super powerful, trying to catch his opponent like as they come into him.
Yeah, and it's like I'm part of me is like, okay, they're both strikers. Okay, they both are knockout artists. Like they have these like if you're doing a Venn diagram, they have things that are like that
They
middle
both have a
circle is like
their
pretty
left,
full.
both their left kick. Both of them have a very hard left kick.
And then even like the things that you think are like different are still end up being the same. You're like, oh, Reyes is taller. He must have the reach advantage, right? Like, no, I think actually
No,
Blachowicz had the 1 inch reach advantage.
one advantage.
Even though
Yeah,
he has
yep,
like which what a freak physique, because he's like thick and blocky with just these long arms. Like, goddamn, what a gift as a fighter. Because
yeah,
usually
yeah.
guys built like Blachowicz have short arms, like the opposite. They're all
Right.
stumpy. Like he like look, he's like stumpy and lanky at the same time. It's really wild. His physique is really crazy. So just I don't know, the more I got like paralysis by analysis on this fight. Like the more I looked into it, the more I started off thinking that these guys were so goddamn different from each other, and it was like, and then the more I looked into it, I'm like, fuck, these guys have so much in common.
Yeah, it's literally just the difference is like that Jan doesn't like go in and out like that. Like he's down to like sit in the clinch and just kind of trade.
Yes,
And Reyes played that game. The
yes,
first round was super good, super good. Jan's left body kick that was like bruising Dominic Reyes' ribs.
that was so
Dog,
gnarly. Oh my
dog.
god,
He had like a blood bruise on his
yes.
ribs or some shit.
So like literally it happened instantly. Like it happened instantly. So like yeah, Blachowicz landed this sick kick to Reyes' ribs. Like it was really clean, unblocked, just really textbook, like how you draw it up. And then like with before the end of the round, like instantly, like the exact shape of Blachowicz's foot, like a giant like welt slash bruise slash like he was fucked up. Like that was one of the most effective body kicks I've
That's the
seen.
best one I've ever seen as far as like damage shown, like
Like
on the actual like.
immediately, like
Hmm.
it's like have you ever gone to like the gun range and bought the responsive targets that like you can see like where you hit
Yeah,
it easier? Like that's what it was. Like that's what like a responsive target on fucking Reyes' ribs.
it was wild, dude. Like I was like shocked at how badly that was bruising over that
I'm
fast.
really glad you brought that up. Yeah, that was a textbook kick. Actually, I thought the combination of the volume and his body kicks, mainly that body kick, what gave Blachowicz the first round. Did you give round one
Yeah,
to Blachowicz?
I agree. I scored it for Blachowicz, and I was surprised to do that because in my like pre-fight analysis, I really thought Reyes would win the first one, probably the second round, and then start to slow down.
You
But he
thought
just
that
really
about
didn't.
Reyes?
That's what I thought was going to happen. But Reyes just really didn't use his like style. He didn't use it the right way, to be honest. Like he traded with Jan too much, and he left those body kicks open all night long,
It was
and it's why he
definitely
lost.
Blahovic's fight. Like it was on his terms. Like which I mean, so often that's what ends up dictating a fight, right? Like we talk about it. We make cross sport analogies all the time. It's like whenever you know, the high scoring team meets the defensive team. Is it going to be a low scoring game or a high scoring game? If it's a high scoring
Right.
game, the offensive team's probably going to win. If it's a defensive game, the low scoring team's probably going to win. So I feel like that was this summed up this fight. Like it'd be like if well, when I say LSU, I'm thinking of the old, 9 points a game LSU, not this new vamped LSU that slings the ball all over the yard. But
Right. Yeah.
like the old like Mark Ingram, Alabama, Greg McElroy, Alabama teams that would just, you get 200 yards rushing and score, 12 points and go undefeated, versus like the Oregons that would, score 60 points every game.
Yeah.
It's like
62 to like 48's their final
it,
score sometimes. You're like, holy shit.
And Blahovich to me was the defensive like SEC powerhouse stalwart, and he made it a low scoring game. He muddied it up. Maybe you could say, to make the football analogy, he got some rain. He got a muddy feel. Like he had it was on his terms. Like it was a game that favored the lower scoring team, and I feel like that's just the perfect analogy for Reyes and Blahovich, because I feel like Reyes, he's a little thinner. I feel like I actually thought Reyes was better suited to go 5, just off of pure just
For sure.
body
For
frame,
sure.
less
But he
muscle.
also was like pacing himself for 5 too. Like
Yeah,
when he fought John Jones,
yeah.
like he went hard the first 2.5 rounds, like hard as hell, and just tapered off because of it. And I think maybe that made him a little nervous. I've also heard about how he like ballooned up in weight between these 2 fights. His
He
last one
didn't
against John
look that
Jones.
like chiseled. Like it was
Yeah,
weird. He looked like
I
skinny chubby. Like if you ever met like a really skinny guy that drinks a lot of beer, it's like, how are you
yeah,
skinny and fat at the same time? Like that's
yep.
kind of what he reminded me of. Like I don't know. He didn't look too like physically crispy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, there were definitely some red flags for Reyes going into this fight, and I probably should have read more into those looking back at it now. But like just to get into the second round and the finish, Jan lands this really. There's about a minute left in the round. They've been going back and forth. I thought Jan was honestly ahead in the second round up to this point anyway.
Yeah.
Reyes was fighting better though, I will say. But Jan lands this nice left over the top, right? But after landing like a right jab, lands this left over the top. I think the reason he lands that left is because Reyes he's so in like he's so shook from those body kicks because he's eaten them like 4 or 5 times at this point that he's actually keeping that elbow tucked to defend that kick more, which allows that hand to come over the top. Well, it breaks his nose. Did you notice
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yes,
His
I
shit was
noticed
like
it. It was
over,
like in
bro.
slow mo. It looked like Remind me of like on Mythbusters when they shoot the ballistic gel and you see
Yeah, and you
like
like
the
see it like
ripple, like
ripple.
whoa. That was his fucking nose, like legit. It was like wiggle, 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 wiggle. Like it was fucking
Well,
wild. It looked
and
like a
like
fucking subwoofer, like wah wah wah.
shout out to him because he survived about 30 more seconds and then just got his lights put the fuck out.
He got wobbled, dog. Like
He like
Blahovich
fell.
hit
Both
him.
his legs quit. Both his
Yes.
legs quit.
Like there was just this moment where like he just like his legs turned to jelly. And then Blahovich finished him off with the ground and pound. So, needless, do you know what was the final numbers on this fight? Like Blahovich was like a plus 300, right? Or like a
So when they stepped in, Blahovich was plus 220 and Dominic Reyes is minus 260.
so a lot of money
So
came in on Blahovich. Those motherfuckers were happy. A lot.
yeah,
I mean,
that's probably Vegas sharps coming in that late.
because me and Harrison did my other podcast, Dreadful Talk, like what was it, 4 days ago or some shit,
Yeah.
and the number was at like plus 300. It was over
It was like
300.
it was plus 310 or plus 290. It
Yes,
was like
it
back
was.
and forth between it that day.
Yeah, so just call it 3.
Or minus.
Wow.
I'm sorry, minus. It was minus 310 for Dominic Reyes
No,
because the
but
plus was
yeah, but I'm saying for Blahovich, I could have sworn I saw a plus 300 somewhere.
yeah,
Maybe
you might have.
that's what I'm saying.
I
That's
think I
a
saw a plus
ridiculous
280.
number. Somebody got that. It's happy.
Yeah, well, probably the sharps bought it at like plus 260,
Yeah, no
which is
doubt.
crazy,
I
crazy.
I said so on my Instagram story, like right before the fight, I was like, I think I don't know. I kind of covered my ass. I kind of pulled like at both sides of the fence. I was like, I think Reyes will win, but I don't like that number as a better. If I was betting, I'd probably
Yeah,
put
I
the
heard what
money
you were
on
saying.
Blahovich. So I kind
Yeah.
of shouted that out, like half-assed, kind of playing both sides of the fence, but whatever.
Oh
I'll
well, I
chalk
mean,
it up as a W.
like for Royval, like the Royval Kai Kara France fight, in my notes on that, I said I would take Kai Kara France in a decision, but that if I was going to hedge the bet, I would put Royval by submission. Well,
Definitely.
look what happened. The odds on that, by the way, were plus 280, so the net return on that is still positive, even if you bet both those things even units.
See, listen to
So,
my man, everybody. The Beefy Boys, Beefy Bets tab will be on the website coming soon. But yeah, man. So I don't know. So Blachowicz ends up winning by TKO as a big underdog, light
oh,
heavyweight champ. Um,
before we get off Blachowicz, there is one story I have to talk about that I heard from another. I think it was Brendan Schaub that was talking about it on his show. Apparently, Jan Blachowicz found a guy in Poland that was hanging, like had hung himself, right? But the dude's feet were on the ground, and so Jan was like, didn't think he was dead, so he went up to him and like shook him, and the dude didn't move, obviously, right? So Jan like realizes what's happened, gets him out of the noose or whatever, calls cops. Since then, he hasn't lost a fight since that happened. And
wow.
and dude, they asked him about this like in an interview apparently in Poland, and he started talking about how he still has a piece of the rope from the noose, and then he like,
Wow.
yeah, he feels like the spirit like I don't know what it is, some like old like Polish tale about like the spirit of a dead man is like I don't know.
Yeah, no, that Poland has like a they have their definitely very spiritual
That
like
was like a
beliefs
dark
and
tradition.
everything. Yeah, man, that's wild. That's very wild, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up. What a gem, what a story. But yeah, man, that fight was a lot of fun. Um, so Bohovic is like kind of talking shit to John Jones, calling him out. John Jones is kind of entertaining it. Like on Twitter, John Jones was like, "Would I be annoying if I wanted to go back and fight for the light heavyweight belt?"
Yeah,
And
you would be annoying motherfucker.
yeah, yeah. Okay, because I wanted to say I thought you were in favor of that. You're not in
No.
favor of that. Okay.
No, he needs to go to heavyweight. He needs to quit fucking around with these guys.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Especially you already vacated the belt. I imagine you've already been putting on some weight. Everybody's looking forward to heavyweight. Heavyweight needs juice. There's a bunch of young studs in 205 that leave the division in good hands. Um,
I think
yeah,
it all makes sense for him to never come back to 205.
me too. I don't know. And I'm sure he was just, teasing. He likes to get a rise out of people and get a reaction on
He,
social media. He's a
oh
master
yeah,
at it. So I don't take him too much at it. And I'm sure at the moment, maybe a few drinks in him, hell with him, maybe a few lines in him. Fucking, he's probably watching the fights at home, doing coke off some titties,
the
and he's
the most fucked up.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was just like fuck it, I'll win at 185. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
drink
yeah,
sipping mezcal.
yeah, I'm sure he, felt that way at the moment when he tweeted that, but. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like I'm not interested in it. Like John Jones has dominated that division for what, a decade.
Yeah,
I love all the young
literally.
killers, the young lions in 205, and I'm ready to see them duke it. Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing Santos and Blachowicz. It's one of those things where I can't honestly say I'm that excited for Santos and Blachowicz, but I feel like it's the fight that has to happen before like
Yeah,
the super, super intriguing, like kind of young up and comer wild card matchups. Like that fight has to be done before we can get to the more cavalier, let's say,
you want
you
to see
know.
Prohaska? Yes, you want to see?
You know what I'm
Is
getting
what you want
at.
to
You know what I'm getting
see?
at. My God. Well, man, I'm beating around the bush like a motherfucker. But yeah, like there's no logical argument to like jump Prohaska over Santos. But
Right.
once that fight gets out of the way, there's a fucking wide open jet takeoff
Yeah, there's a
waiting for
tornado on its
Prohaska.
way.
Which I think, let's just say that Blachowicz can beat Santos. I think him versus Prohaska is an electric
I
fight.
want to
Like,
show you
how
something.
fun is that?
What's the very last line on my notes there, right there?
Well, it's in selfie mode, so it's like backwards. So right now it looks like it's like Arabic or like
Pro,
Sanskrit or some shit.
says Prohaska versus Blachowicz will be so great.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Literally, my notes from last night. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
no, that fight. I mean, we've been on Prohaska's train for a minute now. I mean, they've already jumped him up. He's already on the rocket ship. Like they jumped him from I think like what,
He's
like
6. He's number
unranked to
6, right?
6, right?
Yeah,
So I
unranked
mean,
to 6. Yeah.
they've already, I mean, they've already
I
thrown
mean,
him a
he did
bone.
starch Ozdemir though.
Yeah, yeah,
Starched him.
definitely. He earned it. I'm not saying they gave. Probably shouldn't use the word gave, but so he jumped. I was just saying he jumped from unranked to 6, and so I
Big
think
jump. Big
what
jump.
that's a massive jump, and what that tells me is that the UFC sees champion material, and that they're putting the old saying, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they led Prohaska to the water. Like if he wants a belt, the path is pretty goddamn clear. Do you think he'll get a fight in before that? He has to, right?
Yeah, he
He
has
has
to.
to.
He
He
has to.
has to.
He has to beat a top 5, and
So
then he does
actually,
that,
is
and he gets the belt.
Prohaska Reyes the next fight? The two of them?
Oh
Or who else?
yeah.
Who else? OSP
I
is
mean,
ranked pretty high right
Teixeira.
now, right?
If Teixeira doesn't fight uh, Santos, if they just scrap that, then Teixeira makes all the sense on earth. He's a big name. He's going out. He's old. Prohaska's
He's gonna
young.
get
He's crazy.
starched. I'm betting the house
Bingo.
on Prohaska. I don't care if
Bingo.
I get a shitty
Bingo.
number. I'm putting
Bingo.
5 units as my beefy betting brother would say. I'm putting
Yeah, 5 units of
five
confidence on
units
that
on
one.
Prohaska. I don't care.
Which,
I don't care if
speaking
I
of
have to
5
bet
units,
500 to win fucking $40. I'm gonna have fun with my 40 bucks,
you're like,
motherfucker.
yep, I'm gonna
I'm
enjoy
gonna
that
buy some
40.
weed with it.
Get it almost a quarter.
Yeah.
The so, so
Some fucking scumbag.
you know it. So the next fight, actually speaking of 5 units of confidence, this was my most confident pick that I had from the picks I gave.
About
Was the
5 units of weed
Adesanya?
with my $40.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
That's a
All right,
unit
that's the
man's
last
life,
one. All right, let's go.
dude. A to G, that's a good price. Uh, Speaking of how good it is. So, Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa. It's UFC 253. It's the headline event of the card.
Headliner.
185.
Yeah, let's get to it, dog. Let's get to it.
Middleweight title. Jason Herzog's our ref. Adesanya steps in at. Do you have minus 180 and plus 160 on your odds?
I sure did. Yep. So that stayed
All right.
about even.
So yeah, they come in. Izzy has 8. Israel has Israel. For those that don't realize, 8 inches of reach on Paulo Costa. He is a phenomenal kickboxer.
6'4", 185. What a build.
Yeah, I
That
know.
was like how like George Kittle was in high school.
Skinny Claw Adesanya,
Yeah.
as Paulo Costa would say. But regardless of how skinny he is, he clearly has some good power. Because through the first round, I thought Izzy was just putting the work on Costa. Costa couldn't figure him out. Couldn't figure out how to get in the distance, like to be within his reach. And every time he tried to be in his range, Israel would just catch him with 1, 2, 3, and then dip out to the side. He did a great job of not getting pressed against the fence.
So this was my takeaway from the fight. So all right. So just to get the facts out of the way, so we can get to our conjecture. The facts were Israel Adesanya pieced the fuck out of Paulo Costa and got a second round TKO. Left hook dropped him. I mean, it was dominant. I mean, so I want to talk more kind of conjecture here than X's and O's, because the X's and O's were just complete dominance. What I want to get at is, I think so. Typically, when you hear the phrase "reading your own press clippings," it's like coach speak for thinking that you're better than you are, being overconfident, being cocky, being over your skis, as they say. But what I think happened to Paulo Costa, and I would say read newspaper clippings. I don't mean it literally because we're not old as fuck, but read tweets, watch ESPN, whatever the fuck, watch podcasts. I think Costa was doing that, and I think he heard everybody and their dog saying, "Oh, he's just gonna bum rush him. Costa's just gonna bum rush him." And so he was like, "Oh, I'll show them. I won't bum rush him." And when in reality, just because people say it doesn't mean it's wrong. Like, his best shot at winning was to just bum rush him. I mean, his
For
best shot
sure.
at getting probably counterpunch knocked out was the bum rush him as well. But he just like completely didn't fight his fight. He like tried to turn himself into like a precision striker.
Yeah.
Dana was
He was trying to
confused as fuck.
He was
after
trying to
the
win a
fight.
leg kicks battle against a kickboxer. Like,
A
what are we?
kickboxer with a way bigger reach advantage. Yeah, he was staying on the outside. He didn't. I don't think there was one clinch engagement, was there? I don't believe there was. I don't remember one. Maybe I was.
There was the one time that Costa tried it. Israel literally slipped out underneath him, out the side of the cage, and smiled at him, and then circled back to the center. And it was just like, you're not going to get him. You just could not grab him.
Adesanya, man, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Dude, how good is he to watch? Like, how fucking good is he,
like
man?
there's
He's
certain
so
guys.
good.
Like there's certain guys that just have this eye test factor on the screen. Like just physically, they move different. Maybe they're bigger. Maybe all of the above in Izzy's case. And the comparison I'm gonna make, cross sport comparison, reminds me of fucking Calvin Megatron Johnson. Like just when you would watch Calvin Johnson on TV and he's lined up against like a 5'11" corner, you're just like, what is this? Like why don't
Like,
every
you just
team
know
have
it's
a
not
Calvin
fair.
Johnson? Like, yeah, like why don't more guys just do what he does? Like, well, because they're absolute
He's so
freaks.
freaky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's exactly how I feel like when I watch Israel Adesanya. Like there's just this it
Yeah.
factor, just this undeniable advantage. It's it's cool too because it's the perfect marriage of we've all known, you've known, I've known. We'll leave names out of it. Just guys that are freak athletes, but don't got two brain cells to rub together. You know what I'm saying? And
Dude.
just meatheads or whatever you want to call them. Just not the most intellectual, cerebral people. And I feel like Adesanya is the perfect blend of like essentially like a fighting nerd, like a chess player, like a strategist. He has his fight IQ is just off the charts. His
It's
fundamentals off the charts, and then his like just
striking defense. His
yes,
striking defense is unbelievable.
when Paulo Costa would try to throw those slow ass spinning kicks, like he was like 3, 5, 10 steps ahead of him. Like he was just like by the time Costa was like a quarter of the way into the turn, Adesanya like had already dodged the kick. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it was light work. Like it literally looked like whenever have you seen those videos like when NBA players like hold a camp and they have like the 12-year-old kid trying to like
Yes.
steal the
Yeah.
ball from him and like he's like dribbling between his legs and behind the back and the kid's like I can't get the ball. Like that's what Paulo Costa like trying to fucking kick Israel.
Yeah, like Israel was just
Kick.
having fun with him. And Izzy said this from the start that it was going to be an easy matchup for him, which it was. It was.
See, I felt this way. I just sometimes have you ever like told yourself you need to pump the brakes? Like I don't know. Maybe I heard too much noise. I watch a lot of podcasts and shit myself. Like I read a lot of MMA tweets. Like a lot of people are like, I mean, if anybody can do it, it's Costa. And I probably just heard one too many people say that. Like my gut instinct was that Adesanya was going to win. I actually got a buddy of mine. I won't say his name, but I got a buddy of mine out here in Cali to bet me Adesanya Costa straight up $20.
Yeah, you told me that. I could not believe
So
that.
I ended up winning $20 last night. And just because I was like, I thought he was gonna want some kind of juice on the number or something,
Yeah, should have.
straight up, I was like, straight up, I'll take Adesanya. I can't really afford to pass that number up.
I mean,
But
I would like to say that I was like, that I felt like Costa was a big challenge, but man, to be honest, the closer the fight got, like I said in my notes, like 5 units of confidence on Izzy. Like
yeah,
most confident pick of the night was him,
yeah, you're right.
and
You called it.
even
You were
more.
all in.
I had a buddy that did a DraftKings for the event yesterday, and he asked me who he should put in his MVP slot, and I told him Israel will get a knockout before the 2.5 mark in the third. Like he'll do it before the third round ends, and so when you put him in your MVP slot, they get 1.5 times the points. So that ended up being a great play for him.
Can't let the podcast end without so he fucking humped Adesanya after the
Yeah,
fucking
or humped
whistle
Costa.
or Costa. Yeah, he humped Costa, and then he went over to his corner and did the fucking jack off jizz air motion thing to Costa's
Yeah,
corner. Fucking hilarious. I love it. Some people didn't like
dude,
it. Some people,
he
whatever. I'm not. This
he,
isn't
he
fucking
doesn't fuck with
pity
them.
hour. This isn't goddamn Sunday choir.
Well, and for all the shit they've talked for fucking 8 months to him,
True.
like he's just literally showing him, like, hey, you're not even close to my level.
You're not on my level, but yeah, that was episode 17 of Beefy Boys Breakdown. UFC 253 was so much fun. Thanks for
It was a
everybody
great
that's
one.
tuned in. Go check us out on our audio platforms. And thank you so much for your time, brother. Good seeing you as always. Looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir. Can't wait. Holly Holm and Aldana, right?
I believe so. I believe so. Don't hold me to that. But either way, doesn't matter. There's a card. There's the Beefy Boys following it. Tune in, y'all. See you next week.
Yes, sir. See you next week, bro.